Hello there.
General Kenobi. You are a bold one. Kill him. I fear no man, but that thing. It scares me.
You're muted.
Oh, muted.
I was whispering. No, thank you. What did we think of the mid-roll deepfakes, guys?
Oh my God.
Holy shit, that was awesome.
The soap of Marshmallow Man's ended me. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was fantastic.
How is it that each week they keep getting better?
I
You
have
outdo
layers
yourself
of
every
these
single time.
things. Thank
Oh
you.
my
I've got
gosh.
some other ones. I've got one from the Blues Brothers I was going to roll with. I've got some from the Animal House I'm going to roll with, but this week it just felt right. A little more aggressive, a little more aggressive.
Hello
My
there.
favorite, yeah.
Hey,
I think my favorite were the Zaxx and my sensual seduction dance. And
Those two were
and-
those two were never going to be cut. Those two they were always in the lineup that I was going to roll with. So yeah.
But I also love purple in Blade Runner, a gigantic
Yes.
cyberpunk purple. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, that's fun. Let me shout out. We got a whole lot of people in chat. We got 24 people here, including channel members Kayla Dare. Hail to you, Kaylee. Daniel, Al Dan. We got the Thad that shouldn't be Roman of the Empire. Jaden Hamilton. Doviende Setovius again. The one and only Punk Waddle, who is also the sheriff in mod. Hail to you, my flightless waterfall friend. We also have Silverlock. Steve, Prophet of the Dragon. Look at this, you guys. It's so wonderful to be here. Everybody on this show has been dropping a whole lot of content. Max was talking about it, how Purple put something out today. Max put something out today. We got Zaxx put a couple things out today, and I dropped, I think, 2 videos today too. And it's like, it's cool to see your people that are your friends that you work with drop these videos. And a lot of us made videos about the same thing, but just with completely different perspectives. So that's really, really cool. So
yes, absolutely. I watched all 3 of you guys today, and 3 fantastic takes. So well done, guys.
Thank you, Purple.
Yeah. Purple, you had a great role today. With you had accrued so many channel members. You needed to update your branding, and instead of going with what you had before, you've came to me and we've worked on these concepts that you had as to how you wanted your channel to move forward. And I think that video you put out today with channel memberships was badass. It was beautiful. So congratulations on that.
It was. Thank you so much for your hard work, for helping me create that. Yeah, absolutely love it. Can't wait to add more names to it, guys. So thank you, and hope you guys like it.
So what about you, Kyle? You had a really fantastic, very calm Canadian take on what happened with the Rings of Power and Morfred Clark. I kept waiting for you to advertise either maple syrup or Tim Hortons donuts. That video was so Canadian. Like, I'm sorry that I might offend you talking about the offensive thing that you said that offended me. It was really kind of cool. But yeah.
My house is a bit noisy, but we'll go for it anyways.
Okay.
Well, first of all, before we get into that, I want to say, as a man, someone who's not afraid to be masculine, I want to welcome Joan of Arc to the team. So I'm excited for him to come over. And yeah, I did kind of I saw.
Took him a minute.
Yeah,
I see. I was like, wait a second. Oh, gotcha.
Hey.
that's right. We get to claim all of Joan of Arc's accomplishments. That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
She can now turn her head and cough.
Don't say she.
Wow.
Don't misgender Joan of Arc.
Something I can now
Yeah.
blame the patriarchy.
Yep.
Yes.
So yeah, I dropped the video today. I worked on my first time trying to do like a standard kind of YouTube style video, way quicker than the 7-second clip over top of audio style. And yeah, it went pretty well. I think I tried to have more of a step back take. So because you and Max already had beat me to the punch. Well, Max showed me the punch, and then you beat me to it. And so I was following up you guys, and different take, sort of why she did what she did, what she could have done differently, how this is going to end up, and very predictive, or I tried to be.
No, it was really good.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely, man. I was talking to these guys before the stream started in the green room, and we were talking about like transformative content or transformative like art, if you will, or even just transformative creation of like talking about some of these things. And what we're doing here is we're not just taking an article and we're just reading it. We
Yes.
are adding our own input into that. And like, I think it was Purple saying that 3 of us put out a video regarding the same text that was put out by the actress. And yet each one of our videos was like extremely different because we all had a different take. And that's transformative because you can watch 3 different videos in a single day and have something and learn something new about the same amount of information. And I think that allows people to critical think too, which I think is really important in nowadays. So yeah, man, I think what you had was fantastic. Salty's was excellent this morning, and then you came out with yours later today. So yeah, chat, I would highly encourage you guys to watch those because each one is just better than the next. So it's cool.
We, of course, have the one, the only Nathan, a Man of Manatheren, with us tonight. It's always a good show when we get our man in Ohio here. Let me get to this super chat from Paul Wolfley for $2. And we've got some weird audio. For $2, says, anyone else going to the FNT meetup in Vegas? Max, I'll let you take the lead on that one.
Yes, I will be there, Paul. So if you're going to be there, I will see you at the meetup. That'll be tomorrow night at the Millennium Fandom Bar. And I believe it's either at 6 or 7 p.m. But yeah, looking forward to seeing everyone there.
Do you know if there's a source or a site of information, or is this go check out Gary's wife's Twitter feed or Instagram or something?
Yeah, I know. Right?
I know. I'm not trying to be funny.
No, I know you're not.
Legitimate question. Yeah.
It's a great question. Let me see if I can grab that link for you, and I'll throw it in the chat.
Okay. Cool. We got Psycho Dwarf 9 in the house. It's great to see you. Of course, we've got our Penguin Sheriff. I'm just going to run through. I don't want to be rude to anybody. We've got Anthony Peterson giving us a robot head. Oh, wow. It's almost like you're watching Picard. We've got Magitech Mags who says Canadian bacon. I don't know what that means, but I do like Canadian bacon. We've got Pips is here from the White Cloaks, somebody else who gave me their fantastic Tolkien take. We've got Ian So Forth. He says, I got here in time for, quote, not afraid to be masculine. It's true. It's true. We are not afraid to be masculine here. And I am going to drop this in the chat. Here, hold on. I might have to just have you drop it in chat. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Kyle. Yeah, we don't have a big production team. It's just us Yoko Locos over here with our somewhat okay production skills. So yeah, Punkwaddle says that he met MVP in the hot dog line in Dallas. You never know where he may appear. I'm not going to judge your lifestyle, but I think he may have outed you live on YouTube. The hot dog line, is that code for something, Max?
You guys can always find me where there are hot dogs, and I'll just I'll leave it at that.
Oh my god. Yeah. And Pips, of course you're welcome, Pips. You guys are awesome. We've got Roman of the Empire in the house, who's been putting out a lot of pretty good content lately. It's great to see you. I made him a deep fake. I wonder if he's going to use it. Be really
Better.
interesting. Yeah, it was low effort. Speaking of low effort, before the show started, I found some of the cringiest crap. I almost debated not showing this to you guys because it made me throw up in my mouth a little bit, but I figured I'm going to share that joy with the internet, right? If I saw it, you have to see it too.
Wow, misery loves company.
Oh, good God.
64 years old.
Yeah.
And still hasn't grown up.
Somebody go get grandma, please. She's clearly drunk.
Yeah. Stop putting ecstasy in grandma's Metamucil. Look at this. Those women are young enough to be her granddaughter, and she's got her tongue down their throat, and it looks like grabbing their crotch. I know it's Madonna, but at a certain point, shouldn't you hang up your strap on or whatever it is and be like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch Matlock and hang out and maybe sit by the pool with my grandkids.
And
Although I don't know,
yes.
I think her children are transgendered, so maybe she's not going to get them. But I don't know. I just whatever this is, it's not working.
Yes,
it's
but
creepy
it's
and
nice.
weird.
It's nice to see that she's finally gotten over that hard time, that everybody went through during the coup, where she was locked down in that gigantic mansion.
Look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, why would we care? I mean, this is like somebody's mom at a wedding, who's had way too much to drink, trying to make out with the bridesmaids. I mean, this is horrifying.
And she did this several years ago as well, if I remember correctly, with
her and Britney Spears.
Britney, that was it. Yes. Yeah.
Look, she's
Could
with
you
her
imagine
eldest son. Go ahead.
You wake up in the morning, you open your closet door, and she's right there. Just the worst, scariest thing of all time.
What's
What a horror
creepy is
show.
look at her face. Remember how she looked like an alien from Land of the Lost? Do you guys remember that cartoon from the 70s with the bad rubber suited green headed reptiles? Like the slee stack with the big bulgy eyes. Well, apparently she had more work done. Either that or there are multiple layers of filters on her face. But look at this. There's nothing wrong with being 64 years old and looking like a 64-year-old woman. She could have the best diet, the best trainers, the best everything. This is just weird. It's almost like undead. Oh, yeah, and there it is. Madonna kissing Britney Spears 20 years ago when she was 40-something.
20 years ago. Wow.
20 years ago. But there she is. Let's get the tonsil shot. Yeah, stay classy, Madonna. Stay classy. You were last time you were relevant was 25 years ago. I'm just gonna say that.
So. Has that girl got her hand on her head like she's trying to push her away?
Yeah. It's like Madonna's reaching for parts that she probably would lose her dentures in. But I'm gonna stop talking and we will move on.
We've got a 40K reference from Max there. I'm not sure what that means.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love Max's comment here. Slaanesh is one of the chaos gods. She's like, so you have different chaos gods, and one is Korn, which is a god of battle and blood and destruction and stuff. Slaanesh is the god of lust and sexual desires and all these type of stuff. So Slaanesh is she is a demon goddess in chaos. So love the reference, Max. That's great, brother. That's hilarious.
I love this. I don't even have this fandom, and I'm like, okay, now another reason to go check out Warhammer 40K. Yeah, I mean, I look at Madonna, and I know this is entirely subjective, but she's not on my GILF list. She's just not on a GILF list that I have. And yeah. So we were talking about this, and I teased it to a bunch of people on this panel before we went live. And I have so many articles open, guys. Bear with me while I figure. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is making my skin crawl. All right, you guys in the chat, prepare for cringe of a different kind. Here we go.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill is going to be in the MCU, not in a way that makes sense, not in a way that would make the most of his handsome face, of his acting chops, of his physique as DC Superman.
Black
No,
Panther?
he's going to be a caricature of himself on Loki's Disney Plus.
Come
show.
on. No, Salty. Really?
Yep.
What? How? You know, my brain is messed up, but I would never joke about something like this. I would never joke about Henry Cavill in the MCU. I mean, not now. Maybe MCU Phase 7 when he's like 64, like Madonna. Maybe, you know, and we're all in the nuclear rubble eating bugs and worshiping Bill Gates statues or something. I don't know. Maybe then it would be cool, but now it just kind of sucks. But it is claimed that Henry Cavill has joined the MCU, has Hyperion, and I don't even know who that is. And Purple was telling me about it, and I still don't quite understand it. And Loki season 2 coming to Disney Plus, and it is a done deal.
So Hyperion is from the Squadron Supreme, from where I know him from, and
Okay.
I've always thought he's been pretty cool. I would probably equate Sentry, Hyperion, and like Thor as kind of the Superman archetype in the Marvel universe. So those three
Okay.
guys are your kind of Superman archetypes. So what this looks like to me, and I'd love to hear what the panel thinks as well, but like it looks like Marvel they're going to do one of two things. They're either going to utilize him as this Superman archetype and actually utilize him for what he's great at, which is playing Superman, or they're going to cuck him. Simple as that. And I'm unfortunately leaning more towards the
Cuck.
latter. Yes.
Cuck. All my money, everything in the bank account. Cuck them. Let me shout out some channel members we had drift in. We've got Gray from Wakazashi's Tea House, the one and only Darius Munchausen, as well as Smile a while for me. Hail, it's great to see you guys here. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we're just talking about this. It's more than a rumor. I actually confirmed this with another entertainment journal. Now, where it is in negotiations, I'm not entirely sure, but this looks like it is going to happen. I have so many windows open. I'm trying to keep the chat going. Yeah, the rumor is that he will be paying Hyperion. What is particularly interesting is that the Hyperion wiki page has been recently updated where it sounds like it's a fact and a done deal. Note, and he can edit wiki pages. But yeah, Henry Cavill's talents are going to go to the garbage tier Disney Plus MCU. For season 2 of Loki.
And seeing what they did with an iconic character and an excellent actor that is Tom Hiddleston, I think they're, just as you say, going to cook him. I think he's going to be probably a cameo role, and they're going to make fun of his Superman role in this.
Yeah, and this, Max, this is along the same lines you were saying, is from what they can gather. Season 2 of Loki will introduce the Squadron Supreme has the boys style riff in the MCU on the Justice League from another timeline. And arrogant, evil analogs for all of the good men like Superman, Batman, Aquaman, and of course Wonder Woman, who's not a man yet in the MCU or DCU, but they end up working with Kang, has his muscle in the Kang dynasty. So it essentially would be an evil MCU Superman. So it fits with intersectionalism and DSG scores. It's perfect.
That's really frustrating, especially because they're going to make him into Homelander. That's what this sounds like. Because Squadron Supreme could technically be like an anti-hero team Like, you know, they've gone against the Avengers. Like, there have been comics where I think they've fought the Avengers and whatnot. So that sounds like what they're going to do with this, especially if they're the, you know, the bodyguards for Kang or whatnot. And yeah, we're just going to get Superman, either like a Red Sun Superman, or we're going to get like a Homelander. But the unfortunate thing is, like, Henry Cavill's fortunate and unfortunate. Henry Cavill is a fantastic actor, so he's going to play the part like really well. So he's going to play this supreme dictator, Homelander type very well, you know. So it's like I love to see him in these roles, but they're choosing him in roles that are making him just evil, you know.
And
well,
can I fire his agent? Is it work that way? Can I fire Henry Cavill's agent for him?
Yes, please.
Do it in a very polite, non-confrontational Canadian way, though, that you do so well, Zaxx.
They won't know till later they've been fired. They'll be and it's Canada, so there's a nice cushion there if you do get fired. But I don't understand, because is he not holding out with DC for more money to come back as Superman, and at the same time you go on the worst show on a garbage network to be a backdoor character?
Well, he is a straight white man who is very visibly heterosexual, so he probably can't get work in Hollywood.
Whereas, like, he should be the action hero of our time. Like, he should be getting every single film right now. He should have had a movie. He should have had something on the level of something legendary like Predator already, or Die Hard already. He should have been James Bond already. You know, he should just essentially be a household name in virtually everything out there. But that's not how it works in 2022, you know? And he's only like, what, 38, 42, somewhere between there?
Yeah.
Like, he's still relatively young. So, like, we still have some good years with him to, like, play these really fantastic roles where he's in great shape and everything. And my question is, are we going to see Hyperion with a CGI mustache?
Question.
Or CGI non-mustache?
Maybe they'll make him a non-gender specific and in post give him breasts. That's the world we live in. I mean, it's the world we live in. You know, we can't have masculine men unless they're stupid or evil, you know? And
Henry Cavill with boobs. Please take my money.
In considering how stupid and evil Loki was in season 1, where there's nowhere to go but down in season 2, you know? They're not going to turn it around. Let me get to this super chat from Ian So Forth. This is for 10 British pounds. Hail to you. Thank you. It says, I heard they're going to write in a scene where Cavill kisses Madonna on her 65th birthday whilst she's chugging vodka out of Superman's boot. I know you guys call things differently in the UK, but is boot code for anus or something? Or what is it?
With
Back
Madonna,
of a car?
possibly, yes.
Yeah, I only made that joke because it's Madonna, guys. Like, you know, yeah, I went there. Ian So Forth, that would be horrifying. And I think Henry Cavill would probably quit acting at that point. I mean, God, Madonna is creepy. Just creepy. And it has nothing to do with her age. It's just what she's done to herself. It grosses me out. It grosses me out. But,
we should probably stop saying her name because she'll appear.
Yeah, like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I don't want to say Beetlejuice 3 times. The mayor of Chicago will show up. So,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be her. It's going to be that weird 3D animated alien version of her.
Oh no! You can see crawling across the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. That would be horrifying.
God.
It's a nightmare film in itself.
Ring.
Oh no.
We're only getting a little derailed tonight. I like it. We're hopping from topic to topic. This one blew my mind. But is anybody really surprised?
Hold on though, but we might get an entire episode now of him getting kneed in the nuts. So there's that to look forward to, right?
Who? Henry Cavill, Loki, or Robert Pattinson?
You know what? All three.
Or all of them?
All three.
Okay, fair. Yeah. Oh, could you imagine
Just line
if
them
they
up.
really do cut? if they really do cuck and humiliate Henry Cavill,
They will.
could
Of
you
course they
imagine if that's
will.
what- I know. I just that just struck me. I keep operating in a world where good faith exists, and I got to stop doing that because they're just going to humiliate him because he's such a fan favorite and because he talked about how important it was to stay true to the source material and there are no toxic fans. Well, they're going to have to destroy him and humiliate him. That's what's going to happen in the MCU because MCU Phase 5 is all trans all the time. So
Yeah. He, we saw how much he embraced the character of Superman by reading all the comics and really like enveloping himself in the character of Superman. In like all of his interviews, he talks about how thankful he is and how much he loved growing into this character and stuff. So we know he's going to do the same thing with Hyperion if he gets that chance. So like that's the kind of stand-up guy that he is like no matter what the role is and no matter what they do to him, he'll still be honorable and noble towards the fans, towards the source material, because he's a great actor. That's his job and he's good at his job. So if there is a positive, it's that. But he will still get kneed in the balls. So
I really want him as James Bond.
Yeah.
It's such a slam dunk. It's just such an absolute slam dunk.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on to this one. Robert Pattinson is out of the DC, not even expanded universe. They always said that Patman, as I call him, the Patman, was going to be in its own little sandbox, the same way that Batgirl, and this was all from DC's old leadership, that Batgirl was going to be in its own little sandbox and not part of the DCEU. Well, here they are, and it's like with whatever Zaslav is doing, and I know there are channels that are virtually talking about how the Snyderverse is going to come back around the clock. I don't necessarily think we should count on rumor and wishes and hopes as being reality. That's all I'm going to say. I would love if we got that band back together. I think they got a lot of mileage in them. I really do. But I think maybe giving people hope that isn't necessarily entirely grounded in reality is, I don't know. I don't really like that. But this says Robert Pattinson is out. And we had bittersweet reviews when we talked about Robert Pattinson Batman. I think a lot of us liked it, except for that last 30 minutes. That it was a great take, our take. Maybe it wasn't necessarily the Batman we wanted or expected, but that it could have stood on its own. But yeah, Variety has reported that the sequel to Pattinson's Batman is not green lit and would potentially be years away. Now, there is this rumored DCEU Justice League reboot. Now, I'm not going to go down this road. There are other people who are covering this, and I'm not going to get into Ezra Miller. People going, oh my God, Ezra Miller's crazy as a shithouse rat. Maybe he should get some therapy, and now everything's going to be fine. But I don't know. I liked the Robert Pattinson take on Batman. Was it my favorite Batman? No. But I think it was an interesting take. What do you guys think about this? Well, first of all, what do you think about what's going on at DC? And if you had your choice, who would be your Batman? Who would it be? Anybody gonna?
I was gonna say I feel like I'm talking too much.
No,
but I mean, it's almost like there's a blueprint to success, and everything on that blueprint, the producers and screenwriters and showrunners that Amazon continues to love to use, continue to just keep throwing the blueprint away, and the blueprint is Ben Affleck Batman, Henry Cavill Superman, World's Finest movie. World's Finest was a comic book back in the 80s, and they revamped it. Now there's one currently ongoing right now, and it's great. It's Batman and Superman teamed up. It's not Batman and Superman against each other like we saw in that Batman v Superman, nightmare of a film. But yeah, no, I mean, that would be my blueprint. I think Robert Pattinson is great for what he did, which is a noir film, But if we're talking about like what's going to make DC money, it is going to be a Batman Superman world's finest saving the world type of film. It's not going to be a noir dark retelling or anything. It's going to be a big budget Hollywood blockbuster. It has to be.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Zaxx? What's your take on this? Who would you want to be Batman? I mean, did they have a clean slate? Again, I'm not a Snyderverse simp. I'm not. I think that if he could make 2 more movies with the same care and quality that he did with making the Justice League, maybe not as long, but if he could do that, I think that there's a potential for some true legendary level films, especially with the direction that the MCU is going, which is straight down the toilet while setting itself on fire. But who for you, Zaxx, would be the best Batman, or where do you think DC should go now?
I think they should still continue with the Pattinson Batman, even though I didn't love him. I didn't hate him either, and I'd like to see them finish that, or maybe expand that story a little bit. But really, I want Batfleck. Just like Max said, I'd love to see World's Greatest Detectives working together, or you could do the older Batman version, like some of the Frank Miller stuff, the sort of worn down older Batman, if you want, as a separate story with him after that. Things like that I'd like to explore. The thing is, like, we don't have a ton of stars out there either. There's not a lot of people who come to mind now when you think Batman, because they've kind of got rid of movie stars, and they're feminizing a lot of male actors. So it kind of hurts that. But yeah, I would like to see those stories done. And like, I don't think he was a great detective. I think I would like to see more of the detective work in that movie, and then the sequel with the detective story, and have it be an actual mystery to most people watching it who can't figure it out, like an in-depth detective story.
Yeah. Purple, I'm going to get to you, but in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and take this super chat from Daniel for $10 says, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I didn't want to see Edward the Vampire as Batman. Then I thought he did great in the role. Now he is gone. What's next? Is Patton Oswalt as Batman? I don't know.
Please don't give them any ideas.
I honestly think they're gonna, the next wave, the next du jour message for Hollywood is the they them thing. The non-gendered, I made something up and now everybody has to tell me that's what I am characters. It's coming to Star Wars. It's definitely going to be an MCU Phase 5. We'll see. I mean, DC has Ezra Miller, and he's just a chucklehead, knucklehead, like making bad decisions every day kind of a guy who's whacked in the head. This isn't going to go the way they want. It isn't. And Disney's leading this charge with that same messaging to children, So, Daniel, I don't think you're taking crazy pills. I didn't think that Pattinson could pull off being Batman. He did. The problem was they didn't know when to end this film. If they would have ended it 30 minutes earlier, just as soon as he got the Riddler, I think this would be a classic film. I think it would be one of those that you put on the shelf and come back to it in 5 years and go, oh, wow, this is a pretty darn good movie.
I agree.
Is it
I
the
agree,
definitive?
Sophie.
Yeah, is it the definitive Batman? No, but god damn, it was a good take. Purple, who's your Batman? Who would you want to have as Batman? Where would you like to see the DCEU go?
I really did like Patterson. He surprised me as Batman. I didn't like his Bruce Wayne. I thought he was pretty terrible as that side of the character. But I thought that the Batman as a younger version worked. Batfleck is still probably the best that we've had, other than, I think, Christian Bale, who definitely will not be coming back, obviously. But I was surprised with Matt Reeves. He really hyped up this film, and he was talking about there was going to be a trilogy of these films, and then we had spin-off shows as well. We had the Arkham show that he was talking about. We had the GCPD, which then got axed. What happened to all of these projects that he was so excited about?
Yeah.
That's a really good question. I mean, I think, in my opinion, the short answer is people hated each other within the power structures over there at Warner Brothers, and that hate and that animosity ran deep. And so just getting rid of the people who are responsible for these things, it's not enough. You have to burn it to the ground. You have to salt the earth and destroy whatever these people were attached to, and then the people that were loyal to them who were part of it. That's the only way you really change a corporate structure. You have to cut huge parts away. And I'm not saying that's what happened here, but I think it's a very plausible potential reason why some of these things, and some of them might have been good. Some of them might have been good. I wanted more Pattinson. I really did, as the Batman. But like Purple said, I wanted him to be a Bruce Wayne too, not just this broken man-child Bruce Wayne. I wanted Bruce Wayne to kind of be a badass a little bit. So, yeah.
Mhm.
So there you go. These I wouldn't necessarily say are rumors. I don't come on here with rumors. I think these are things that are pretty solid. And I think given everything Zaslav has done with Warner Brothers and DC, I think they really want to boil it down to the brass tacks and have one freaking Batman and one freaking Batgirl and one freaking Joker, and people just know that's who that's going to be. But that's my supposition anyway. Yeah. So
I really think
go
they
ahead.
could really give us a great Affleck Dark Knight Returns version of Batman from Frank Miller, the older, the Dark Knight Returns.
100%.
Yeah, that's what I think.
100%.
And for Pattinson, I don't like. This is the thing with Warner right now is they're spinning their wheels, and no matter who's in charge, they seem to do the same thing. And sometimes it's better to be wrong but committed than just directionless like they are right now.
So this isn't a challenge. This is just a question. And let me. It seems like they're wrong and committed to the Flash. How do you feel about that? I mean, and again, I'm not playing a gotcha game. I see what you're saying. Do you think with the Flash, Kyle, that the only reason they're doing this is because this is the only damn thing they got to come out and make him some money for a while? And it's just like, all right, he's batshit crazy, but maybe we can make this work. I mean, what do you think? What do you think?
I think that they should release it. Honestly, I don't think they will, but I think they've got this much money in it now. You could release it, or you could chop it up make it into an HBO Max series, add in some extra footage, make it go that way. People are going to be curious enough to check it out, especially on HBO Max. Yeah, I think just put it out there now. You've done the work. I mean, you're not going to lose more money, I don't think, by releasing it. You'll at least get back what the $300 million they put into it. You'd think they'd get that back. And if they don't do as much advertising on it, maybe they break even or come close to it or don't lose as much. But and I hate Ezra Miller. I've never liked him as an actor or as Flash.
Yeah.
So I'm not promoting him at all. I would never pay to see his movie really, but it's already done. So you've already screwed it up this much. So just cross the finish line anyway.
Go ahead. I wanted to hear what Max said this whole time. I was like, Max, I could see him. He's like, let me go. Let me talk. Take it in, brother. Take it in.
No, you're good. No, I mean, there's a part of me that just says like, no, I want Zaslav to cancel that too and just not release it at all. Because we've heard so much from Ezra Miller now at this point, to where at first I was like, okay, he needs help. He's mentally unstable, but then he started hurting people, and I was like, now he's just an asshole. And that was really when I was like, how can, because some people can separate themselves from the art and the creator, and I just can't do that at this point. And that's unfortunate, because I see this sick freak, this weirdo, person who's abusing people. I'm gonna see him in this film, and even though it has other actors, from what I'm hearing, the movie is centered around him. So yes, they will probably get their money back, and most people will be able to separate and just be like, okay, whatever, he did that weird thing or whatever, but we just won't talk about that. But for me, I'm just like, just get rid of it. Because the other thing is, Flashpoint is an erasure and a whole new dimension of what DC was doing. Like, Flashpoint erased a lot of things, that series in the comic books erased a lot of things, and it also brought in new things. But how can you erase things where you don't even have an established universe, which DC doesn't? Whereas like Marvel, when they erased things, it was like, whoa, this is groundbreaking, because you guys have a decade of established universe here. DC doesn't have that, and then they're going to start changing things up again with Flashpoint. So it's like they're starting where they should be ending, and it just doesn't make sense. So me personally, I hope they get rid of it. But like Zach said, I agree with you in the point in that they will probably make their money back. and that's the only thing that I could say would be a positive if they released it.
So
I'm going to go.
Would
go
it be
ahead.
different?
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
would it be different, you guys, if you could edit it to make Ezra Miller a evil Flash? Because he'd be a great evil Flash.
Ooh. I just
Everything
don't even
that
want
I've
to see
heard,
him.
he is the best thing in this film. Though that's the problem.
Oh
Really?
my God.
Yeah.
Can you
Wow.
imagine?
That's what the people who have seen it have said. He is the standout in this
Oh
film,
my god.
which is why I think it's going to be released, because that's all they've got.
But I
Um,
mean, he was
but how-
the
yeah.
weakest character in my opinion, in the Zack Snyder's Justice League. In the Snyder cut, I think
Oh,
he was
yeah.
the weakest character. So if he's the
Wow.
weakest character, surrounded by Gal Gadot and Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck, and then the guy who plays Cyborg, no disrespect, but whatever, you're playing a robot.
Yeah.
The guy who
but I
won't
mean,
say booyah.
Thank you very much. Yes. If
Sorry,
Ezra Miller, no, it's okay. If Ezra Miller is your shining star in this huge cameo, alternate timeline reset movie, how the hell did that happen? How the hell did that happen? Is it simply because his pronouns are they them, and whatever he craps out on the camera is just pure solid gold? Is that what we've gotten with this thing? I mean, it's a rhetorical question, but I mean, like, how the hell does this happen? How do you get $300 million into this movie? They already reshot it, and it's like, and then he starts a cult allegedly, and then he's abducting children allegedly, and then he's beating women up, not just in like Scandinavia, but in Hawaii, not once but twice, and then allegedly he breaks into somebody's house, and where the hell is Vermont and Hampshire, and steals enough liquor for it to be a felony.
Yeah, so that begs the question: what do you have to do to not be protected in Hollywood at this stage? How bad do you have to be?
Go to
Talk
church.
well about Trump.
Mm.
Talk well about Trump. Don't
Not
say
even
nice things about Let's Go Brandon. That's what you have to do to lose your job in Hollywood. That's all.
No, I mean it can be so much simpler than that. Like Kyle said, go to church. Like I had someone post a comment on my latest video that said something like, "I don't understand how a well-educated, grown-ass man can utilize an American flag as decoration." And I'm like, "What? Am I being scrutinized because of my toys back here, and then my flag is what you're upset about?" So I think it's literally as simple as I go to church. I have an American flag on my hat, or like it can be so simple now that is seen as hatred or offensive language, or even like some people consider that language or even those actions of like going to church or saying that you're a Christian or whatever. They think that's assault. They think it is.
This is true. Assault. They're always trying to cancel Chris Pratt over that. Yes,
exactly. Yeah.
Go to church.
Yeah, but mutilating convincing 3-year-olds to mutilate themselves is just fine. But being an American who has a faith, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Think about that one a second. Yeah, it is absolutely crazy, and that's why I love coming on these shows. I love how we have these conversations. I love where you take this, Max and Kyle and Nathan and Purple. These are great conversations, and I don't necessarily hear people having these conversations, and that's why I love doing this show, and I think that's why Chat loves showing up here all the time. Aldan has been very patiently waiting. I must get to this super chat. This is for 20 Australian dollars. He says, "Hail legends. Henry Cavill is a king amongst peasants in the acting scene. And I am still praying Geralt makes a detour to Randland somehow and decapitates everyone. Aroo! Of course, that is a reference of having The Witcher go to the Wheel of Time universe and we'll just say reboot. We'll just say reboot in a creative, deleting way. So hail to you, Aldan, Madman. He's a channel member of mine, and I think he is of Purple's as well. But he has a parakeet or a bird, and the bird's name is Gandalf. That's how cool.
Oh, that's cool.
That's how legit Aldan is. So hail to you, brother. Thank you so much for this $20 Australia. And You're a legend yourself, sir. Thank you so much for being here. But yeah, I think I'm all caught up. But yeah, Purple Valkyrie. Wait, where are you at with the Flash? I was about to skip you guys. Sorry.
Oh, for me, I think it's going to be released. As much as I don't care about this film, I think they've put too much money into it. It's been too hyped up, and it seems no matter what Ezra does, even though they, whatever, has now apologized for everything he's done. It's like I said, what do you have to do to not be supported by Hollywood these days?
Can I ask, because I think we've all seen the apology letter note. Do we think that was at gunpoint? Do we think that was generated by Zaslav and was like, just put this on his Twitter profile? Or like, how was that put out? Because I guarantee you he did not say those things. It is too well written. It is too corporate. Like, it is so corporate.
Totally.
What do you guys think?
Corporate.
How do you think that got into the world? Like, what? Yeah.
Disney's legal team, or not Disney, DC or Warner Brothers legal team got with Warner Brothers marketing team, and they went to Starbucks and got a couple soy lattes, and posted mean tweets about Orange Man bad, and then they just hashed this thing out because it literally read like bullet points. It was the most sterile, non-Ezra Miller sounding sentence, because one thing, he didn't talk about how he needed to take time off to destroy the KKK, and that he
Nice.
that's the biggest thing that was the dead giveaway for me on this one. And then of course he didn't talk about how strong he was and show people by putting his hands around a woman's neck, all those things that were important to this apology.
Oh my Lord.
So this is from the Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League video game they're making right now. And so they based the evil Flash on Ezra Miller. And I'm telling you, it looks pretty cool. No?
You think he does this at his cult when he abducts all those children allegedly and wears this and menaces them? Because that seems all too plausible to me.
It could be. Yeah. So this is what the model is for the video game. So I don't know if they're going to remove him from the game too, or how that's going to go.
Interesting.
Jesus.
Well,
I just thought that was from like. Sorry, go ahead.
I was to say, it seems like they've got a lot of people that they need to remove from their films. Amber Heard springs to mind as well.
Did you guys hear about what Aquaman 2 is really going to be all about? Aquaman 2.
Global warming or whatever? Or?
Yes, thank you. Aquaman 2 is going to be about the effects of global warming on Atlantia.
Climate change. Nice.
Yeah. Can't you guys, I love the scene where there's the dolphin that has the little ring of soda, the plastic soda ring around its mouth or whatever. And Aquaman takes it out with his trident and he goes, "You're welcome, dolphin." And he swims away. And then the credits roll. He stabs the dolphin, then he takes the rings off of its mouth and he's like, "I saved you." Oh no, fighting climate change. It's a true killer.
Yeah, the next phase of the message will be, of course, climate change and trannies, because that's the end game. It's not my words, it's theirs. Go ahead and look for it. It's right in plain sight, because that's how that works. Oh yeah, we need a social credit system, and obviously we need to own nothing and like it and eat bugs too. This super chat comes to us from the Memes of Destruction for $5. Says, "Hi friends, I may disagree with some takes, but love the chill discussion. Have a nice day. P.S. Don't check Twitter. Love." Yeah, I did. You pinged me during the show. I thought it was something that I should look at. I don't know what it is. I'll try and review it later. Memes of Destruction, but yeah, all I saw was Culture Casino with some guy with a goat puppet having a conversation about something. But yeah, I mean, I love Culture and I love T-shirt, but I'm kind of doing a live show. But maybe I'll check it out later. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just in that mood. I really am. I'm just like, yeah. We're all full up with love and kindness today. Yeah, pure PR move on that apology. Nathan, what's your take on this Flash movie? Did we get to you yet? I'm bouncing all over the place here, dude. Oh wait, hold on. You got a mic thing. Go ahead. Yep. Hold on. It's Restream's being weird. Go ahead.
All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, Nathan.
Nothing. Oh, okay. Um, yeah, with the Flash stuff, I mean they've got to release it. They've already dumped 100 million on Batgirl or whatever that was, so they can't sit there and do another 200, 300 million write off to add to that. But what they need to do is they do need to stick with a Batman and ride the wave with one guy, period, and build up the franchise around that and get Cavill back as Superman and ride that wave, because those two are what are going to carry DC to any amount of success that they can possibly gain from the dumpster fire that they're living in right now.
Yeah. I just think it's a real tragedy that they wasted Michael Keaton's Batman on that horrifyingly bad Batgirl movie. Do you guys think we're ever going to get a bootleg cut, or somebody's going to like smuggle out an SD card with like a low res version of this movie or something like that that says streamer on it? Because I think that there's a lot of YouTube content creators that might get enough views to build like a guest house off of stuff like that. I think people really want to know how bad this damn thing was, you know? Yeah.
Because WB contractually can't actually release it, because if they are getting tax write-offs off of this, they will not be able to release this on streaming services. So I think there's some people who are still like, oh well, it'll just come out on HBO or whatever. If they are in fact going to have this as a tax write-off, it's like illegal for them to do that. So the only way for us to see this is through a bootleg, and some hero over at WB, a true hero, will release it to the public, and we'll see it then.
Yeah.
It'll be circulating conventions like that Corman Fantastic Four did for years.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. They're so worried about all the cow flatulence. No one thinks about Amber Heard's defecation and that carbon footprint of crapping on Johnny Depp's bed. You know, no one ever talks about the effects of all these stars in Hollywood with their private jets and they're defecating on people's beds. But wow, can I say that on YouTube? I just did. But yeah.
Speaking of oh, sorry, go ahead, Kyle.
No, I was just saying, yeah, you can say whatever you want. Salty, we're with you. It's your channel, so we're with you ish.
Yeah. You're with me adjacent. You're with me adjacent.
We're salty adjacent. Yep.
You're salty adjacent. You're like pepper to my salty. Yes, you are.
There we go.
What were you gonna say, Max?
Just kind of one final thought before we move on. The whole climate change thing, the broader, you know, of course it's going to be about climate change and, you know, global warming and all this stuff. But I think the thing that's really hurting that film and films in general is that if Jason Momoa did come out and he was like, "Well, no, it's not about that. It's actually about Aquaman becoming king and Atlantis surviving through this global war," or something like that, and he stood up and was like, "No, it's about the character." Do you know how he would just be plastered all over Twitter as, "Oh, he's against all this stuff and he's a Trump supporter and all this stuff." So even if you want to promote your film by just talking about your character, you can't even do that now. Same thing with when Solo came out and they were like, you know, could Lando potentially be bi or whatever? If you say no, oh, you're a homophobe, or oh, you're a transphobe. So you constantly have to say yes to things in order to like not be canceled. And I think that's what's really plaguing the film industry right now, is that articles will come out, or, you know, producers or screenwriters or people who have no idea what they're talking about will come out saying, "Oh, it's about Trump. Oh, it's about global warming. Oh, it's about this." And if you say no, your film's dead on arrival, or it's just going to be eaten up by Twitter. So, I think it's really unfortunate. And I know we've seen examples of this before, but
I wonder, you know, Max, I entirely see where you're going, and I think that's true. I think the real question is how many of those were bots set to program to look for keywords and comments and go after them. I know that something happened with Elon Musk in his lawsuit to reveal the actual amount of bots versus subscribers. on Twitter that he won that case, and then it just stopped being reported on. So I think it'll be interesting. You know, when things go dead silent, that's when you know the real shit's up. That's when you know something's going on. You know, when they're going, yap, 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 be afraid, then it's all bullshit. But like when it goes dead quiet, that's when you know bombs are dropping. So let me get to this super chat real quick. This one is from Daniel for $5. Hail to you, Daniel. And thank you for being at both my premieres today for both the Fire of Fandom as well as the Morford Clark response video and talking about the the fan blaming stuff. And then you were also at Purple Valkyrie's premiere, and I think you might have been at Zaxx too. Just thanks to everybody in chat who does that. But Daniel, I want to say thank you for that. It was great to meet you in Dallas. This is for $5 and boy, we got background noise. So $5 Black Adam movie. He wakes up 5,000 years after 5,000 years to discover that cattle, Earth's oldest alien nemesis, have invaded planet Earth, so he wipes them out.
Oh no.
Yeah. Him and Bill Gates both just saving us from ourselves. Saving us from ourselves. That's the story. Taker610 for $5 says Madonna might still be better looking than Dead or Alive's Pete Burns. One word: surgery. Purple might know what I'm talking about. Yikes. Not sure I know what that means.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. But I would say Google, but do it at your own risk.
Oh, I've seen him. I've seen him. Yeah, you guys vamp because I haven't made anybody throw up in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, Pete Burns really kind of went off the deep end when it came to surgery. I mean, I think he passed away in 2016, if I remember correctly. But yes, someone who didn't know when to stop, unfortunately. And he was actually pretty good looking when he was younger. He had that, kind of 80s style going on. But yeah, plastic surgery, guys, never a good idea.
Ask Joan Rivers.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, he was in the band. He was in that band that sang "I'll Turn You Right Round, Round, Baby, Right Round." Now, what's fascinating about is that he was a what words can I use? Because I was a kid in the '80s, and we called him something, and apparently I could lose my channel. But he was someone who was a gentleman who wore women's clothes. We'll just say that, and wore makeup. Now, Boy George did as well. Now, Boy George is very obviously openly gay, but this guy Pete Burns was like next level Boy George. We'll just say that. Do you know what I mean? And so I don't know what the right word is, and I don't want to play these pronoun games, but
I mean, he
had a great voice. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, take a stab at it. It's my channel. What's the worst that could happen to you, right? Go ahead.
No, I know exactly what you mean, but yeah, look.
Wow.
Went from a kind of looking, turned into Cher.
Oh my god, yeah, you're so right.
Oh my god.
He looks more like Cher than Cher does right now.
It looks
I
like
bet he wish he could turn back time.
Yeah. I was
Oh.
gonna say this looks like one of the drawings they do on Ancient Aliens about, the Anunnaki or whatever. I mean, this guy turned himself into an ancient alien. How the hell do you do that? Jesus.
Oh,
thank you. I think thank you for that, Taker610.
Thank you, Taker.
I think
Yes.
Thank you for that. Oh, yeah. I love that song though. It's just what a shame. So here's something, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, and my God, you need to have more ads on Hollywood Reporter. So this has to do with the prequel of the Hunger Games. Now, I think the Hunger Games had a pretty darn good first movie. After that, it kind of descended down the steps of, wow, you have too many producers. Hell. It's a great book series to read. I really do think that, especially for young adults. I think there are some good character traits to emulate. I think the story of how central control and communism in taking things away from people so that you have an elite that have everything and then you have everyone else who exist only to service them is not only a good story, but I think it's incredibly topical for 2022. So check those out. The original Hunger Games books, but Viola Davis is going to be joining the Hunger Games as a villain in this ill-advised, in my opinion, prequel movie. So, this is of course a prequel that features 18-year-old Cornelius Snow. That of course was played by, I just blanked on his name. What the hell is his name? You guys help me out. Who played President Snow?
Donald Sutherland.
Donald Sutherland. Yeah, it was played by Donald Sutherland, a very
Canada.
creepy villain in this movie. I know, right? But it's just going to be his version. This is yet another prequel movie, another prequel to a movie that no one asked for. It's going to be his 18-year-old self, and Viola Davis. You will know who she is because she is going to be in that incredibly historically accurate movie called The Woman King.
Yes.
Yes.
I can't
There
wait
she
for this movie
is.
to suck.
There
Our
it
favorite.
is.
Yeah.
There she is. So she's bringing the let's rewrite history with a woman king. And of course, they didn't engage in slavery, even though they actually did engage in slavery. But history's racist, right? She is going to be playing a villain in this movie, and she is going to play the role of a games maker. Those of you who've seen the movies know what I'm talking about. I found it fascinating because they were casting a woman of color to potentially be a games maker, someone responsible for murdering children.
Redemption arc.
Although that does seem to be a really popular thing these days, doing things to children in 2022. And so I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I'm sure they'll make her a sympathetic villain. Hollywood is sick and crazy. I would love if this was really good. But again, it's a prequel to a book series, and the prequel has a novel, was not particularly well received by the core reading audience of these Hunger Games series books. And of course, this would be a remake of, it's called The Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes. Stop with the prequels already. But here you go. Viola Davis is going to be in the Hunger Games. Still don't have a release date for this. We're guessing maybe sometime in 2024. It's a big series. A lot of people like it. Will this make a flash in the pan? Will this do anything? It's not really going to do it for me. But then again, I'm a bigot, misogynist, and a racist. So
yes, it does beg the question: how much of a villain is she actually going to be? Since we know that the Snow character is going to be a sympathetic character, and we're going to get his backstory and an explanation of why he's so horrible.
It's always, you know what it's going to be? It's going to be everybody else's fault. It's going to be the blue collar, the middle class people. He probably hired like 90,000 agents for his tax agency to make, probably just like what we're seeing in current year. That's, all the allegories justifying why totalitarianism and fascism in the name of protecting liberty and democracy are so absolutely essential. And yes, I'm going there tonight because I am out of F's to give about censorship, guys. So, yeah. Now I have so many tabs open. All right, I got something really good to talk about. Can you guys believe it has been 35 years since Predator came out?
Now I feel very old.
The 35 years. And I'm going to drop you out, chat, so we can get all the sexy manliness in here. 35 years later.
Yes, please. Yes. There we go. There we go.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Producer John Davis, this is an article from Variety, talks about how cigars, smoked salmon toast, and mayhem created a mega action franchise. God, that's amazing. I could just look at this picture on Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
That's why I want to do that
more
Tournament of Arnold's this week.
Yes, that's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
I think this is actually, what's interesting is I think Arnold was in his first Terminator film. I think he was still on the juice, but when he was in Predator, I think he might have been off a cycle. Because if you've ever seen him like and like his elite pumping iron phase, where he's like preparing for a competition to actually be a bodybuilder on stage, he looks completely different than he does in this film, and yet he still is like 10 times what any other man looks like, so it's incredible to see that actors have been using the juice for decades, but
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, the first film came out in 1987, thanks to the memorable performances of not just Schwarzenegger, but also Carl Weathers, uh, Jesse the Body Ventura. The film became an American action movie icon and staple. It spawned 4 sequels, and they're including the new Hulu Prey film, as well as 2 spin-offs, and yet the mega franchise started with a piece of paper that was slid under a door. The Thomas brothers stuck the script into the Fox lock and stuffed it under someone's door, says John Davis, who produced all 7 Predator movies. We got there on a Monday, and there was the script stuck under the door. I was an executive at the time, and I'd been working with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was a really good friend. We were always trying to figure out how we could work together. And so he was the one who was the executive on this movie at Fox. And yeah, that's how the movie Predator got made. A couple
And
kids
that's
snuck onto the Fox lot, snuck the script under the door. Somebody thought it was awesome, and there you go.
it becomes a different movie if you slide it under the door at Fox and Harvey Weinstein opens the door.
That's true. It's true.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah. I just thought that was fascinating, you guys. The Predator
That's a cool story.
is
shocked that
iconic.
that's
You know,
that's seems to be how it worked back then. Like you would take a chance, and you might get lucky. The right person sees your script, and all of a sudden you're behind a franchise. Like I don't know if that
Mhm.
exists now.
Yeah. And of
No.
course, you have the one and only John McTiernan
Hmm.
put the film together. And he was also the same person who led Die Hard as well as The Hunt for Red October. I believe he passed away last week, but he was the guy that got all these macho men, Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, Kevin Peter Hill, Shane Black, Bill Duke, Sonny Landham, and Jesse Ventura, all these toxic males to play well together and be nice. There he is on the set in 1987. 35 years. Just amazing stuff, you guys. Just amazing. Will we ever get another movie like The
No,
Predator? And I'm not talking
probably
about
not.
women's studies, community college film class, Prey, that's on Hulu.
Yeah,
You know,
we
I haven't
haven't got
seen
it
that
yet.
movie. I haven't
You
seen
know,
that movie. Has anybody seen Prey? Has
No.
anybody seen it at all? Anybody got any comments? Purple,
I watched
did
it.
you see a
Yeah.
big? Oh, tell me what happened. What's your impression of Prey?
Um, honestly, didn't have a really deep impression on me, to be honest. I mean, it was okay film. I wouldn't really lump it in with any of the other Predator films, but it's not as woke as people seem to be thinking. Um, I thought that the lead, she was okay. She gets her ass kicked a hell of a lot throughout the film. There's a dog in it, which was fine by me because it was a great character.
So
But
it's like Benji, like it's
it's
Benji with the
but with
lasers and
aliens. Yep,
aliens. Okay,
exactly.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
Max, did you see this? Did you see Prey? Or Kyle, did you see Prey at all?
No, but I would see it. I'm not avoiding it for any reason other than no time to watch it yet, but I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I've heard mixed reviews, and to hear mixed reviews is almost like a positive right now. So
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
I'll check it out and whatever, see how it goes.
I just
You
feel
know,
like they're
Nathan-
just. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Max. No, go ahead.
No, I just feel like there are so many better things out right now that like Prey is probably at the. It's not even at the bottom of my list. It's not even on a list at this point. I've seen Predator. That's the only film that exists. There are so many other things, like I said, on my
Yeah.
list that I need to watch to kind of get caught up. So yeah, unfortunately, it's just not there.
You know, I saw Predator 2 in the theater and I was disappointed. I really was, because when you saw Predator for the first time and then subsequent viewings on VHS, renting them from Blockbuster or whatever, it just the movie it seemed to get better every time you watched it. It was so over the top and so well done and so novel. It was so new. It was an old trope, but done in a very different way. And then, of course, you have the hyper masculinity and butt slapping, awesomeness of these military guys trying to take on this damn alien in the jungle. And then, taking it to where they did in Predator 2, it was a very jarring experience. Now, I don't know if people like Predator 2 or not. For me, I the last time I saw it, and the only time I've ever seen it, was in the theater when it came out, and I was like, I'm bored. But I also feel that way about Terminator 2. So, and I bothered some people with that answer last week. So it is what it is, though. Mr. Tickle
Yeah.
Trunk for $2 Canadian says, my favorite dystopian film is Sex in the City. I know. I would agree. It is one of the most scorched earth, horrifying realities I could ever imagine spending any time in, where women have the faces of horses. It's truly dystopian.
Yeah, very true. Well said.
Hail to you,
Speaking of
Mr.
plastic
Tickle Trunk.
surgery,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Speaking of driving drunk, your husband driving drunk in Ireland and deleting teenagers. Oh, we can't talk about that, can we? Yeah, never mind. We can't talk about that. That look up Matthew Broderick. I'll just say that. But fascinating Hollywood stuff, guys. Fascinating Hollywood stuff. Go ahead, Max.
May I ask the panel, and we can just kind of go around here, who we would have if there were a Predator film made today? Not a Predator film for modern audiences, but if it were made today with the action heroes that we have today, who would everyone cast? And I'll go first. I'll say Henry Cavill because we were just talking about him. So if Henry's there, who else? What other action heroes can we think of that would be like a cool, gang
Well-
of masculine men?
I think you contractually have to hire or cast Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
There's no
hell
way
yeah.
around it, I think, in any movie.
That would
now.
actually be badass. I totally forgot about
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
There you go.
Clive Owen. I want Clive Owen. I want the man that I wanted to be
Okay.
James Bond to be in that movie. I would say you have to do that. What about you, Purple? Who's a handsome, strapping lad that you think should go up against the Predator?
Oh, yeah.
That's quite difficult because we are running short on really top-notch
Oh.
masculine actors that
Yes.
they
We
were.
are, aren't
We had a lot of them back in the 80s, and it was wonderful. But somebody
Yeah.
just said Chris Hemsworth in the chat. I could
Yeah.
kind of see that, I guess, but only if he played the serious role. Getting really
Yeah.
sick of him playing the jokey, put-on character, which he's done with
Mhm.
all of the 4 films since he did the first one.
Yeah. I'm going to go out on a
Ooh.
limb and I'm going to say something that may be controversial. I don't know how he's looking these days, but I would love to see Wesley Snipes in something like that, dude.
Ooh.
Dude, could you imagine that? Could you imagine
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes in there, man, drawing some of that deep dark, no, like internal deep dark, you racist, energy to put on the screen like he did from Blade? I think that would be absolutely fantastic to watch. What about
would
you,
be
Nathan?
cool.
Who would you have in there? Go ahead, Kyle. Nate, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, if you can find a way to make it work, I'd like to see someone like the Mountain in there. Half Thor.
Oh
Bjornsson,
my
I think his last
God,
name
that
is.
would be gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
I
if
could
he
see-
Oh,
played
yeah.
the Predator, that would be. Oh
Well,
my
there's
God.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, there's been some good mentions in the chat. Like Punkwaddle just said Terry Crews,
Ooh.
Josh Brolin, and there was one
yeah.
earlier that was caught my eye was Tom Hardy. That would be a good one to get in there too if he got all beefed up for the role, and you could get some. You can get some good guys in there to sit there and have a testosterone filled. Let's go find and beat the shit out of some invisible alien guy in the woods. But you gotta search for them there because they're so neutered these days.
Yeah.
No John Cena unless he dies in the first, like a bitch's death, like in the first couple minutes. That's fine.
Like Steven
I will
Seagal
never
in executive
forgive.
order.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, China. I'm so sorry, China. You, John Cena. I have the definitive answer. I have a definitive answer, and I want you guys to think about who else from that world would be good. I actually have 2. Gina Carano.
Yeah.
Gina Carano.
Oh, you know
in the
what?
role.
Okay. All right.
And I could actually see Joe Rogan too. Maybe he has a helicopter pilot or some merc that's out there that gets him in, gets him out, cracking wise cracks, drops their ass off wherever they are. And then he's the guy who comes and gets them. And, I think you could do so many wonderful things if you cast it non-conventionally,
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I think if you were to do something non-conventional, I think it would have to be like non-conventional in the style of like each character would have to have their own individual because so many times, like whether it's comic books or even in movies, everyone has the same voice because the person writing the script is just writing what they would say, so it comes out as just like one voice, right? Whereas like if you had like Brandon Lee, Wesley Snipes, Henry Cavill, those are three completely different people that you could utilize like different aspects of them, that would like have a cool like different voice to each one of them. And then if you bring Chris Pratt, he's like the comedic relief. And that's kind of what we saw with that first Predator film, is like each one of those guys had a significant characteristic, like Jesse Ventura, tobacco chewing, fucking go get 'em type of attitude. Arnold is very straightforward. He's very stick to the mission type of whatever. He's your leader. And then you have, and I'm blanking on his name, but the Native American guy who's more quiet. He's, in tune with nature and with the land and understands how things work. Like each one of those guys had like a perfect characteristic about them. And I think that's how you could do something cool.
Gray's taking us home here with Alex Jones.
Yeah,
there
work.
we go. That would be frightening to try and face him in a fight. Oh my goodness.
Just have him do the soundtrack. You can do that Pot Daily Goblins. Just have that be the theme song for that.
Oh my god.
Awesome.
Well, and he'd have to work in some line about the frogs being turned gay.
Yeah.
That's what this movie could all be about. It's about gay frogs getting in league with the Predator, Brought to you by Monsanto. I've got a $5 super chat from Taker610. Says, I want to see Henry Cavill challenge a Predator to a PC building contest. The Predator gets all frustrated and just destroys his tower from anger. That would be a cool meme. Let's be honest about it. Yeah, the man we want as James Bond, as Superman, has countless other characters. The man that all of us want within a Predator movie, a legitimate Predator sequel, instead of just is kind of on the sideline and likely going to be some cucked, cartoonish character in the MCU in a shitty Disney Plus show. Hollywood 2020. What a bizarre reality. How you doing on time, Max?
I've got about 10 more minutes.
Okay, we'll get into
like
this. God, I have too many windows open, you guys. Sorry, I'm trying to get there. Okay, got it. So this is fascinating. All credit goes to Purple Valkyrie for finding this. And Purple, I will let you take the lead on this one. This is finally, we're a couple weeks out, but we finally find out when the abomination, in my opinion, that is going to be Amazon's The Rings of Power is coming out. Finally, we're finally figuring out when that is.
Yes, we were trying to figure out, when are they actually going to drop these episodes? Are they going to go by American time? Are they going to go by UK time? And we've actually got the answer. So they're actually going by Pacific time. So that's, I guess, great for you guys. So the first 2 episodes will be dropping together, which will be at 6 p.m. PT on the 1st of September. But for people like myself in the UK, that is 2 a.m.
Oh no!
Yeah, so thanks for that, Amazon.
I've never seen a show drop like this because it's 3 hours, so that would be 9 o'clock East Coast time.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that makes sense, but literally no one in the UK and Europe will be able to see it until the next day. And I don't know. Do we think that's because that Game of Thrones used to come out at the same time? Those people who watched Game of Thrones, did it come out at 9 o'clock Eastern? Or what? I mean, they seem to want to emulate and mirror what HBO did with the Game of Thrones. Looks like
I would imagine that is the case, because we do know that way back in the past, Bezos said what he wanted was a Game of Thrones. So I can't imagine why they wouldn't be copying the release times as well.
So 6 p.m. Pacific on September 1st would be 1 p.m. in the afternoon, September 2nd in New Zealand. Apparently that's important. After this double episode no disrespect to New Zealand, just the writers of these articles, like just whatever. So it'll be a double episode, just like Purple Valkyrie said. After that, you will get single rolled out episodes on a weekly basis, and the finale of the 8-episode season. Going to repeat that. The 8-episode season that cost $465 million to make will air on October 13th. Again, panel, why is September? Wait a minute. No, wait. Whoa. The 2 episodes of this fantasy series will start streaming at 6 p.m. on September 1st. What's different? Tell me what's different.
I thought they were rolling this out on September 2nd because it was the anniversary of Tolkien's death. That's what they were
to celebrate his death.
It would be in England.
It would be for us and for obviously New Zealand and Australia and places like that. But for you guys, it's still the first.
I mean, I don't know what the plan is here or why they're doing it this way. I don't know why they choose 6 o'clock, because that's like, you'd think they're California centric, but even then that makes no sense, because like that's like dinner time ish there. I guess it's 8 o'clock on the East Coast. Is that right? So the New York area. I don't know who they're hoping to pull, but it's a horrible time.
You're still on the West Coast. I used to live on West Coast time for a number of years. So you've had football games that would start like at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon if they were played, on the East Coast. How do you see this as far as rolling the show out at 6 p.m. Pacific time? Do you think it's a bad idea? Do you think it's a good idea? Why do you think they did this? Not that you're the expert, but what do you think?
It's a great question, because one, they're doing it on a Thursday, which doesn't make sense, because normally I thought with Game of Thrones they were doing it on, was it a
Sunday?
Sunday?
Sundays. Yeah, Sunday.
And Sundays are like the perfect time to do that. And the other thing is, like, they haven't acknowledged the fact that they screwed up, or maybe they didn't screw up and they intentionally put it on the 2nd of September. But either way, it doesn't, like, why would they release it? We're going to release only 2 episodes on this day and the rest of it on this day. Like, it's just so convoluted. It's like, just, they have the, like we were talking about earlier with like blueprints with DC and Warner Brothers, like they have the blueprint. September 22nd is Hobbit Day. It is Frodo and Bilbo's birthday. Like on the 22nd, it's like the most perfect, and I think it falls on a Thursday. So if they didn't want to release it on a Thursday, they're not even going to do that. So it's extremely frustrating. I think as far as West Coast though, Salty, I think for them to release it at 6, people are home from work on the West Coast. People are already at home on the East Coast. Maybe, finishing up dinner, getting ready. So I think the time is okay, like 6 PST. But for England, I mean, that's brutal. Like, Purple, you said 2 in the morning. Like, that means you either have to stay up and watch it or watch it that very next morning. But then you're behind 8 hours.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yes, it's a weird one, and the fact that they've now changed the release date really threw me. And I've just checked on the Amazon Prime, the actual Twitter, and they do confirm it, as well. So it is weird.
It's really strange. We've heard September 2nd for forever, and now it's September 1st. I think that, I think they have such an LA-centric worldview that nobody bothered to check the time difference in the UK, and that it would be September 2nd and the day that Tolkien died, where he actually lived in the country he wrote his mythology for. But who cares, because it's not Los Angeles, right? I mean, do we think it's that basic bitch? Because I'm gonna default to basic bitch when it comes to Hollywood right now. The lowest common denominator, which is the rudest, stupidest thing. I'm just going to assume that's why they're doing it, because they've shown us over and over and over again that seems to be all that they're capable of. It's just the most base, idiotic stuff ever. I don't know. Maybe I'm being unfair.
I think that, like, they would want to focus on Europe and North America as their those are the people who are mainly going to be attracted to this show, I would assume, because it's based on a European mythos, even though it's not, but it is, but it was. So that should be their target. So I don't know why you would even start the date or start the showing on the West Coast. And I don't know.
It's
They don't
crazy.
make great decisions.
There we go. No.
There is a slight change as well. So the rest of the episodes, it says, and then tune in weekly. New episodes will be available on Fridays at 12 a.m. Eastern.
Why do that? Why change the day? Do you think they did it on Thursday so that they have the news cycle of the full weekend to sit there, and then they already have the articles written about how we're all racist and misogynist for that Friday to drop before the show's even out, because they know what we're going to say, because they know exactly what's waiting for them?
Yes. in a word, yes.
Yeah.
So these are the... Go ahead, Max. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think everyone has kind of echoed this, but I can't tell if this is corporatization of them being very strategic and saying, okay, we're going to release it on the 1st so that we don't get backlash for the 2nd, which is Tolkien's death. But we're just going to release it on the 1st, but then let's have an article ready on the 2nd and on the 3rd so that we can counteract, blah, blah. I don't know if they're smart enough or if they are aware enough to do that either. So I don't know. It's tough to say. It's like a combination of laziness and also hubris, but that is kind of corporatization of art.
Yeah.
This could be it.
We had somebody join us right here. I'm going to drop out Louise's. We have the one and only Gray from Wakazashi's Tea House is in the house.
Hey.
Look at this loaded group. I'm going to bounce this around here. Look at you guys. Hail to you, Gray. How you doing? We were just talking about the Amazon's Wheel of Rings, or Rings of Time, the show. And thanks for joining. So apparently, I don't know how many hours difference there is between Los Angeles and Japan, or your region of Japan, but this is not going to be released on September 2nd, Gray, but actually on September 1st, according to American time. It will still be September 2nd in the UK and Europe. What time would it be if it's 6 o'clock Pacific time in Japan? Would you be able to see this? Would this be noon or 11 a.m.?
Yeah, well, great to be here, Salty. Thank you for having me on. It will be 10 a.m. in the morning the next morning, so Friday, 10 a.m., so most people will be at work.
Yeah. Wow. So they're literally just kind of making this for the United States, it sounds like. So much for the rest of the world. So much about reaching that global audience. Think about that one. Can't even acknowledge the UK or Europe or, Asia? What are they going to do? Wait, so that essentially would be about the same time in China. Wait, in China, it would be the same time in China. No one's going to be watching this. No.
And what about this huge Indian audience that they were chasing in Brazil, South America? Yeah.
Well,
Zaxx knows all about that Indian audience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that Portuguese-speaking audience, too. So, yeah.
In South America, the timing will work out for them as well. I don't know how days run down there, but I'm assuming it's the same, similar to up here. And so the time would be okay for that. But I think Louise may be right. They're trying to avoid the UK because they want to hold off as long as possible there. So you guys are going to absolutely murder this show as soon as it comes on. And they're maybe afraid of you. They want to hold off.
Hell yeah.
Really, though.
Because Americans are more progressive. So Americans, well, I guess because Sargon of Akkad says that UK is really bad as well. Mm-hmm. But America has been more progressive than ever. And so people are going to watch it in America, which is probably where most of the movie reviewers are as well. And they're going to say, oh, it's a triumph. It's going to save lives. It's going to cure cancer. But then the scholars in the UK watching this are going to be like, this is a perversion of our history, So it's going to be really interesting to see what comes out.
Yeah, and now all of us on this panel have covered this to one extent or another. This is Bounding into Comics, their article yesterday with the Rings of Power. Morford Clark, of course, posted what she did on Instagram. Again, all thanks to you, Maxfield Von Priestley, for posting that. I credited you in my video, so did Max, and others did eventually as well who picked it up. And yeah, Morford Clark. I know you like what I did there. Morford Clark
Yeah.
admits the show is a perversion of Tolkien's work and tells critics to shut the F up. And by critics, that means somebody who's read the book. And, or better, even if you've seen the movie, you know what you're looking at. Why I'm bringing this up is that this article is pretty darn good. They go down a rabbit hole on this thing with orcs and female orcs, but there's a lot of actual scholarship from a Tolkien perspective in this, where in this Bounding into Comics article, they talk about all of the cognitive dissonance and how broken this is, how truly this is not Tolkien at all. And we just had a new trailer that dropped, and I want to thank people in my Wolf Brothers and Sisters channel group on Twitter for sharing this with me. I want to play some of it. And before I do that, though, Max, I want to see how you're doing on time, if you need to bail or not, before we get into this heavy-duty discussion.
Yes, I do need to bail, so I do apologize because right as Gray gets here, I have to leave. I promise it's not you, Gray.
80 Hawk.
I've never seen Superman and Clark Kent in the same room together, so I know you guys aren't Superman. So
Stop the
that almost
injury,
made
Max.
sense. That almost made
Yeah.
sense. All right, Max,
Um,
shout out your channel. Where can people find you next? What are you going to be doing? And we'll let you go because I know you got important business. But thank you for being here, dude.
Dude, no, of course. Thank you guys for having me. And I really appreciate you allowing me to come on just for this first portion of your streams, because I know sometimes me leaving right in the middle of it can kind of disrupt that flow. So to allow you to allow me on is just fantastic. So I appreciate it. Yeah, you guys can find me at MVP Maxfield Von Priestley. I just put out a video discussing this, what these guys are about to discuss, and then also I did a live stream with two of these fine gentlemen on Sunday, and was one of the best streams we've ever had. I mean, it was so much fun. These guys absolutely killed it. How am I going to do this like that?
I know it's
They
weird, right?
were,
Like,
yeah, right.
yeah.
They just crushed it with their legendary heroes, and I can't wait to have them back on the stream. So but yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. I look forward to listening to this more in the car ride. And yeah, if you guys are going to Vegas, I'll see y'all there. Feel free to come up and say hi. I would love to give you a big hug.
Have a lot of fun, really. And if there's
Yes.
any cool merch, dude, ping me, dude, text me or something like that. If you see really cool stuff, like I'll totally like venue money if you're finding groovy stuff, especially, in all sincerity, Lord of the Rings 12-inch figures. I'm looking for a couple different ones if you come across them. So
Okay.
anything having to do with the Rohirrim or Rohan or Theoden or Eomer, I'm looking for those guys. So yeah.
Okay. I don't know if, because there isn't going to be an actual convention. There
Oh,
won't
then
be
never
like a
mind.
comic book convention. This will be strictly for like the meetups and stuff. I think there
Got it.
is a Star Trek convention,
No,
maybe, but
no, I don't want
yeah.
any blanks of wood. I'll just go to Home Depot. For that.
So yeah, no, I'm stoked, and I'll be keeping you guys up to date and saying hi from Vegas, from the Trump Tower. So
Ooh,
We have some
sweet.
requests for some Max cosplay as Superman.
ooh,
MVP as
Oh.
Superman. Do it.
That would be cool.
Well, Salty already did the deep fake at the beginning of the video. He's had that one for
Yeah.
a while, which
Yeah,
is
that's awesome.
Yeah.
just one of my
Yeah.
favorites. Yeah. All
Bearded
right. Well,
Superman.
I'll get out of your hair. Thank you guys so much. It's always great being here. Love y'all, and have a great rest of the stream.
Yeah, have
Love you,
fun, Max.
Max.
Take care.
Great
Thank
to
you.
see you,
Max,
Max.
take
Take
care,
it easy.
brother.
Bye.
Bye. It's so great to get to work with Max. Great content creator, great heart, patriot, veteran, proud of his country, proud of his faith. It's a good dude. It's a welcome voice here on YouTube. So Yeah, God bless him trying to date in California, being all those things. Let's be honest about it. Mr. Tickle Trunk brings us a $5 Canadian. Thank you very much. Super Chat says the rings of poop will be great for YouTubers, pundits, and those who parody. This is fan fiction at best. Quote, I do not believe that darkness will endure. J.R.R. Tolkien. Agreed. One person I haven't heard from is Nathan. You haven't made a video about this or what Morford Clark has said lately. Um, I think you have a panting dog right next to your microphone, or at least that's the way that it sounds. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know what it is. What's up tonight? It's catching my
yeah.
exhale really easily tonight. But in
But
terms
what
of
do you
Morphin,
think?
I mean,
Yeah.
good grief, she needs to grow the hell up. I mean, it's ironic that she does the same thing in that little video snippet that all of us who were making fun of it with those videos with the guy revealing something, that she did the exact same thing, and she does it to be crass and to put everybody down. Um, and then she does it cowardly because she puts it out there on Instagram, and I guess what Magitech Mags told me earlier was on Instagram a story, so it stays up there for only 24 hours or however long, and then it just disappears into the ether. So she doesn't stand by what she's saying. She just puts it out there to get a rise, you know, and then it goes away because she's a big old coward. It's like, okay, well,
Well,
you just
yeah.
incentivized me not to like the show even more.
Yeah, but this is the only playbook they have. In a lot of ways, I think this was always the move. I've said this before on other live streams, but I think the entire purpose of buying Tolkien was to do exactly what they've done. And that when they brought
Yep.
the supposed Tolkien scholars in, that knucklehead from the University of Glasgow with her women's studies PhD, doctoral thesis or whatever, deconstructing Orientalism, in toxic masculinity and Tolkien's patriarchy, an utterly useless degree unless you're just going to sit there and backstab other people in academia, I guess. Um, we all knew what we were going to be in for. But, I saw some things in this new teaser that came out that, quite frankly, are at Wheel of Time level. They are at Wheel of Time level of destruction, of liberties taken, of not at all making any sense. And of course, we have to remember this is a show with 24 made up characters. This is not Tolkien. Please stop saying Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. Lord of the Rings has nothing to do with this. Tolkien has nothing to do with this. I just dropped my 15th video of the Fire of Fandom series, and I'm going to mute this. They have the Fire of Fandom series, and you heard from all of these people throughout this fandom, men, women, different ages, different political views, different spectrums, some content creators, some people who had never spoke on YouTube before that sought me out on social media. Their perspectives were unedited. I did not select them knowing what they were going to say. And universally, and there are a few exceptions which we will be getting to, people are not happy with this adaptation. Not just people who are like deep Tolkien lore scholar type people, but people who've enjoyed the Jackson films, people who think that the animated Hobbit was probably one of the greatest, most accurate depiction. People don't like this thing that has Tolkien's stolen name and characters on. Part of the reason I did the Fire of the Fandom was knowing they were going to do this. They were going to call us all racist and misogynist, and we don't like strong female characters. Well, I would love to be able to talk with some of these people from Amazon and marketing and show them all of this marketing research to show them who it is that they're insulting. The problem is, I think that they know, and they just don't care. They just don't care. This was not made for the audience. This was made for Amazon to hit ESG score virtue signaling. That's all that it is. And the fact that we're pissed off and we're butthurt and we don't like this and it tears our heart out as Tolkien fans was the entire objective of making this show in the
Yes,
first place.
I think so too.
Guys, go ahead, take it, run with it. Because I know you had a very, I'd say, good, neutral, fair perspective today. But please tell me what you guys think about that.
I don't want to get too conspiracy minded on this, but I really do think that they're picking these properties at this point now to do this to them with the purpose, and in this case especially, of pissing us off. as the fan base and drawing that attention because they label us first, then they prod us second. We eventually react with something and they say, look, these people are bad. We're not these people. We're making something that bad people don't like. So buy our products. Keep using Amazon Prime. Even if you never watch the show, people casually will hear, oh, people who like Lord of the Rings are racist now. And then, oh, they don't like this show and Amazon's making it anyway. So I now have a positive view of Amazon, whereas before I wanted Jeff Bezos to feed the world and I wanted to look at the board of directors with all these
Oh,
11 to 12 white dudes. Before
yes,
anyone
I
looked
see
at
what
me.
you're saying. I see what you're saying.
So
Providing
that's a bit,
cover
yeah,
for those who enjoyed that mostly peaceful summer or mostly peaceful protest. That I get exactly where you're going.
yeah. It wasn't long ago that he was, well, first of all, people were looking at what he pays his employees in the warehouses, which are mostly people of color, and he pays them garbage and makes them
Yeah.
pee in a bottle. But they were also looking at he's going to space while people are starving, and maybe that's not a good thing. And I don't have a point of view on that. But the same people now who did believe that are now the ones who go, look, he's doing a nice thing for the people of color.
Yeah, I guess. So it is just an empty virtue signal. Let's get the perspective of an Englishman living in Japan. Gray, what do you think about that? What do you think about what's going on with the Rings of Power? Oh yeah, hold on. I'm
There
gonna
he
make you.
is.
Sorry, I just went off to get the real cover, the real book of This is the Two Towers. Sorry, what a fantastic illustration by John Howe. Absolutely
Yeah.
love it. It got me thinking because is it Mags? Magitech Mags posted something on Twitter showing the
Yes.
new covers in a store in America now on like 20% discount. So no one's buying
Yeah.
them.
Well, I looked on Amazon because it was actually a bunch of markdown stickers at Target for this Amazon covered the Lord of the Rings, and of course, this show's art, The Rings of Power, has absolutely zero business being on The Lord of the Rings, on anything Tolkien, because this show has nothing to do with Tolkien. It takes this many pages of an appendice from a book that is essentially a brief history to help set up the backstory, and then they created 24 characters and turned Gladriel into super lesbian acrobat, bestest ever general of all world. And she probably has a penis too, because that's how they roll these days in Hollywood. And yeah, her husband's nowhere to be found. But she's gonna reach down toward Halbrand's pants where there's a hilt of a dagger, and it's not phallic. No, it's not phallic. No, they wouldn't do that. Of course they wouldn't.
She's
do
got a
that.
long sword for sure.
Yeah.
Have you seen the size of that handle? Bloody hell.
Yeah. But what do you think about this? I mean, where are you at with this, especially with the Morford Clark stuff, with all of this stuff? I mean, you've watched our videos. You're a very optimistic guy. You are. And I respect your takes on this. Where are you at with this?
I used to be optimistic, Salty, and then I watched The Sandman. And then, it's happened all over again, hasn't it? It's like, wait a minute, haven't I been here before? Getting my hopes up for something and then seeing them dashed on the rocks. The more that I hear, excuse me, from her and from the different members of this very diverse cast, the more I just don't give a crap. I just don't care about it. She had another post on Instagram where she was sharing the new trailer, and she titled it, what was it? You haven't seen what I've seen, bitch, at the end. It was so nice.
Oh yeah,
such a
we
nice thing to do.
We were talking about this because there was some supposition. It was a rumor going around that Morford Clark actually didn't put that out, that it was a spoof account, and that Gray did some investigative looking and said, no, she was saying stuff like this. She was being a saucy Welsh minx. I know another one of those out there on social media and, talking all this smack. So I think it was Morford Clark that said this. I really do.
I couldn't find the story one, Salty, the one that's the famous one that Max found, scooped, and certain people on YouTube borrowed, should we say. But that one is still up there. That's an Instagram post that she put on saying, like, look at this trailer, isn't it great? No, she didn't say that. She just had a go at everyone, saying, you haven't seen what I've seen. It's like playground talk, isn't it?
Yeah. Go ahead, Purple. I know that this is someone from your neck of the woods, and that you might know a thing about Welsh culture and Welsh women. So what's your take on Morford Clark? Drop it like it's hot, my friend.
You guys can keep her, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I think she's being told what to say, as most of these actors seem to be. They're being fed lines and dialogue that they have to put out on social media, and I think it's as you pointed out in your video today, it's just part of a pattern that we've seen repeated over and over again. They say something provocative to stir up the fans, they get backlash, and then we get called names.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is going to be the last of it. I would imagine she's going to keep kind of needling the fans, or maybe some of the other actors are going to get involved as well, up until we get this damn show.
Yeah, well, that dude who looks like Liberace went in there, and he's the one who actually said, "Shut the f up," you know. But yeah, I would anticipate Deeza coming out swinging. You know, only other women can defend women. Although the fact she's a white woman defending a woman of color, that's problematic when you play these intersectional games. I want to shout out channel member Resurrection 117. Absolutely fantastic to see you. Let's see, and let me get to that super chat you had up real quick, Zaxx, and then we'll bounce back to Purple. And are you having issues, Zaxx? Okay, Zaxx
No, I'm good.
is having audio issues. Okay,
Good.
okay,
No,
sorry.
I was muted. I was muted. I'm on Mike's side. I'm good.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. So this is from Magitech Mags. Hail. We stayed up too late the other night talking about politics after a member stream. A lot of fun. Great to see you. Hail to you for $5. Says, I'm so happy to have this group. Well, I mean, honestly, Mags, it's great to have you in this group. You're a lot of fun. Your takes are fantastic. I absolutely loved your Fire of Fandom takes, and you didn't hold back. You spoke about femininity, you spoke about faith, and you spoke about your love of Tolkien. It's absolutely brilliant, and none of those elements at all are going to be represented in the novel that only Payne and McKay could write of the Second Age. Let me get back to your super chat. Stop pontificating. I'm going to mute whatever that is. And this is, I'm so happy to have this group interacting, communicating, having fun, healthy conversations, insightful discussions, and overall a fun bunch. I know we're a pretty fun bunch, except maybe, I don't know. Kyle can be a little problematic and racist sometimes, but that's okay. We still love him.
Sure.
So yeah.
Whatever.
But he
Yeah,
apologizes
Canadian.
for it. Yeah.
I have to dump it on Canada. I'm going to blame Canada, just like South Park. Of course, I don't mean it. Magitech Mags, it's wonderful to see you here.
And I want to add, Megs is always she always makes everything more fun whenever she shows up. So thanks for being here.
Yeah. She's a firecracker. She's a wild card. She's got her own take. She's not afraid to say them. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to have all of these wonderful voices, and we all don't agree on everything together, to be able to have respectful yet fun, uncensored conversations where no one's worried about being canceled. That's the world I want to live in, not this crazy batshit, let's go Brandon, bug eating, it's the end of the world bullshit timeline we're on now. Roman of the Empire for $2 says, gotta roll, friends. A fantastic talk as ever. Hail to you, Roman of the Empire. If you have not checked out Roman's channel, he does some fantastic takes on great movies, great music. He works with a pretty tight little crew. Give him a sub. Go check out his channel. He's my channel member. I believe he's a member of some other people's channels here as well. Thank you for being here tonight, Roman. It's great to see you. And use that deepfake I made, or send me a better picture and I'll make you an even weirder one. Because that's what I do. I'm like autistic that way. Magitech Mags. She sends us $5 to correct her typos. That's Magitech Mags. You're too much. This is for $5. Says, I have found this group asterisk. Dang typos. LOL. Love you. Love all y'all. Heart. Keep on keeping on. I know. We're gonna skank it easy. We're gonna skank it slow. To quote Bob Marley, you're absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for this, Mags. Yeah, it's yeah. Who didn't I get to with this question? I'm all over the place right now, but I think we had Purple with talking about Morphy Clark. Nathan, did we talk to you? Didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, and then I got Gray. Did I miss anybody? Because if not, I'll move on to the next thing real quick, and then we'll. All right, you got it, Gray. Gray just said he wants to be on the bottom, so Gray's the power bottom on tonight's show. There you go.
That's perfect.
I wanted to put the handsome up there.
I want to just to finish this off. I have an idea for this, and this would fit well with our earlier conversation about Predator and how we'd make a Predator movie. And this is a guy who we could put in the Predator movie and who could take care of Payne and McKay for us. That'd be all right, huh? Lock him in a room with those guys? Go away for 10 minutes, come back, problem solved. And now he's in the Predator.
Why didn't you mention this guy when we were talking about the Predator movie? This is freaking awesome, dude. I love this guy.
Yeah. Brock Lesnar's a murderer. Look at this. I mean,
wow.
The sword looks a bit like a penis on his chest, but I mean, you can't say that to him because look at the guy.
That's what I thought. I didn't want to speak up. I didn't want to say that, but yeah.
It's like Galadriel's sword hilt.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, Predator movie, take care of Payne and McKay. That's all. And that's all.
Was that your brother, Zaxx?
No, not yet. Working on
he's even bigger than you. He's huge.
He lives in Saskatchewan, of all places.
Wow. Well, that makes sense. You got to be hardy to live up there. Chat, we're going to bounce you out.
True.
This is a video that is this was done by a friend of the channel, Faye. She has been in numerous of our chats here and on my live stream. She's also a big supporter of European lore. Why I want to take this video is we're gonna bounce around as artfully as I can without blowing things up to look at this new teaser trailer. And I'm gonna ask you guys when we're done, and then we'll wind up for tonight, and I'll do a dystopian live stream either tomorrow or the day after. We'll do it midday stream. I want you guys to look at if this makes you feel better or worse or the same, and I want you to tell me about the character we're about to see.
Name myself. Galadriel, daughter of the Golden House.
Okay, I have to pause here to make this transformative because we're at 6 seconds. Obviously, this is the latest teaser trailer of super warrior Galadriel, who can do ninja moves with her 8-foot, 8-handed war sword.
Commander of armies of Gilgalad.
Halbrand.
Interesting title. And I do have a source. I actually have the actual Tolkien source, which lists who was the commander of those armies. But yeah, grabbing the dagger hilt out of Halbrand like it's a penis.
A man and an elf. Circumstances arose.
We are companions by chance. And fight with me.
Okay. I want to say something about this quickly, if you don't mind. I'm going to jump on right away because she just did an interview today as well where she talked about getting an opportunity to speak to Cate Blanchett about the role and choosing not to do it.
Will you repeat that? So they were going to give it to Cate Blanchett, and she said she didn't want to do it?
No, they asked Morford Clark if she would like to speak to Cate Blanchett about the role, about playing Galadriel. And she's like, nah. I mean, I don't get these people.
Yeah, it's not you, Gray. I just, yeah, it's not you. You're okay. Yeah. The woman who's playing Galadriel. No, the woman that Payne and McKay gave the name of Galadriel to, stolen from Tolkien's works, doesn't want to talk to the woman who completely embodied, I would say, the most accurate depiction we've ever had of Galadriel from Tolkien's actual source material. If that isn't a warning sign, I don't know what is. You know, the other thing I'm not seeing? Where are all the people from Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings movies? You know? Like, you know, where's, you know, where are any of the hobbits? Where's Ian McKellen? Where's Peter Jackson? You know, where's anybody from that?
We heard from them early on, didn't we? And they were all very polite, I guess would be the best way to put it about this show. It's like none of them really knew anything about it. And as we've gotten closer, we now know why, because none of them were approached about it, including Peter Jackson.
Well, they approached him, then ghosted him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. They made a point of ghosting him. They made a point of keeping their distance from him and I think all who were involved, in the original and the true Lord of the Rings movie trilogy. What do you think, Salty?
You know what I think is, as somebody who cut his teeth and really built his channel, looking at what Amazon did to the Wheel of Time, I used to offer almost every episode a warning that I sure hope they don't do this with the Rings of Power. And then in July and February, we got, in February in particular, we got the Vanity Fair article telling us about all the lore they were going to change and that, starting to call us all racist before, we even saw one image. And I'm here now, and I never thought I would see a fantasy property destroyed and mutilated more than I did Robert Jordan's world. I didn't think it was possible. I think what they're doing with this is perhaps beyond The Last Jedi. I think with The Last Jedi, you had Han, Luke, and Leia, what they did to them, Chewie as well. And I didn't think you could do anything worse than that. And I think what they're doing here is a lot worse than all of those things combined, because this is a prequel. This essentially resets all of our images of things that have already occurred. It will change, potentially, generations to come's impressions of Peter Jackson's works. It will change how people look at Frodo, how people look at Aragorn, how people look at the Galadriel that Cate Blanchett plays. It will change how people look at Gandalf, because I'm sure these assholes are going to put Gandalf in this show. Let's be honest. They've already said they're going to. I think that's the most dangerous and is insidious thing that you could imagine. This is a cancer. This is like injecting something into your body which hasn't been FDA approved, which they tell you is supposed to work, but actually causes, let's say, blood clots in the future. That's how I look at the Rings of Power, guys. That's how I'm looking at this. This is an intentional poisoning of the Peter Jackson films as a prequel. And I think that's why this tendency to do prequels is occurring the way that it is. It is this double bonus of we can piss off the fandom, and then we can also, for future generations, they will watch it in order. They will watch Tolkien in order. And now it's in order based on the hellish nightmare that Payne and McKay have made in the Second Age. Tell me what you guys think about that. What do you guys think about that statement?
Yeah, it's all about a divide and conquer of society in general. There's an ultimate end to all of this, and as small as they can make pockets of society, it makes society much easier to control. And you can call that conspiracy theorist, but it's part of the playbook for totalitarianism, and it's really a very devious methodology of approaching society and trying to weaken everybody as a whole.
Yeah, I think when people were talking earlier, way back when they started with the initial photos from the set and the Vanity Fair article, people were joking about, well, what are they gonna do with all these, new black elves and all that? Like, are we gonna have this great Holocaust type thing? And no, of course not. Like, that was never gonna be the thing.
There will be.
It's gonna be
There will be a
well,
Holocaust, but the reverse way.
sure. Yeah, the characters we know are not gonna be as we know them to continue to push this forward, right? They're gonna try to they have to, like, they're going for the rights. This has to be part of a bigger plan to reboot and redo, um, the trilogy.
I'm going to go to purple, then I'm going to go to gray on this one. This is a $2 super chat from the one, the only, the Magitech Max. Says Viggo, meaning Viggo Mortensen, the actor who played Aragorn, has been the only one to say, to the Rings of Power. It's true. It is interesting, though. Elijah Wood, when told about this and all the money they were spending, he said, that's crazy to me. Why would they do that? You guys don't ever see that article anymore, do you? But I got screen caps of
No,
that
you
one.
don't.
Yeah. Where's Elijah Wood? Where's Purple? Who is that guy that we saw when we were in Dallas together? The guy who sang so well and was really funny. Billy
Yeah,
Boyd.
Billy Boyd, yes, he was great. Yeah, even Sean Astin, I think they approached and tried to get a quote from him, and
Yeah.
he didn't really know anything about it, so he kind of did what Viggo Mortensen did and kind of like gave a vague, polite answer about it, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about that trailer? Had you seen that, Gray? Had you seen that little Gladriel women power thing?
No, the main take I get from that little trailer is how annoyed Galadriel looks the whole time. There's no like majesty in her face. I'm not having a go at the actress. I'm just saying she's been directed, to play it in that way, and there's none of the the wonder, the awe, is there? It's just you got like a grumpy young woman just like looking pissed off. That's what I
Yeah.
take from it. And sorry for swearing. Sorry.
No, that's okay. You can fucking swear whenever you want. Mr. Tickle Trunk gives
Attaboy.
us a $2 Canadian. I'm on it, dude. I'm the king of this segue. Mr. Tickle Trunk gives us a $2 two loonies. He does hashtag Esperform Mags for Gladriel would be better on happy face. Someone explain to me what that means because I'm not as cool
I
as
have
Mr.
no idea.
Sorry.
I wish I knew.
Esperform Mags for
Tickle Trunk, what
Gladriel.
do you mean?
Mr. Tickle Trunk, we'll keep an eye on it in chat. It may just be that we've got stream brain or you're cooler than we are.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe that's part of her icon image.
Is that a strap-on thing? I mean, is that like is that code for something? I don't know. I mean, no. I mean, I'm half kidding. I mean, look at who we're dealing with here. Look at we're dealing with Hollywood guys. It's absolutely insane. I'm gonna jump to Magitech Mags and then let you take it, Kyle. $2 super chat again from Magitech Mags says prequels equal able to rewrite history in their image. Yes, history prequels equal being able to deliberately poison pill the existing Peter Jackson trilogy. Not only that, say what you will about the Hobbit trilogy. Yes, it should have been 2 movies tops, a movie and a half, if we really want to be honest about it. What are they are they going to poison pill that? Because I'm starting to think that the entire objective of this was to demoralize us, to deconstruct this, and I really do believe that this will be to poison pill Aragorn. That Aragorn will have stolen valor somehow, that any strong male characters that we know and love from Tolkien's Legendarium, which were portrayed on screen with some degree of accuracy by Peter Jackson, now have to be denutted, castrated, deconstructed, or their victories or their actions to look stupid or hollow, because I guarantee you this, if they only would have listened to Gladriel, none of this would have ever happened. Where have you seen this, Nathan? Where have you seen this narrative before?
Could it be Wheel of Time? I mean, every single male character in that show completely emasculated and totally ruined. You have Al Landman Dragoran, who should have been the most epic man of men presented on screen, and they completely undercut him. And they have boys growing into men. It's a great coming of age story in that regard. Yeah, no, let's not do this. Let's prop up women, give them male traits so that they can be the all-powerful men in the world, and then emasculate men into something that is, unrecognizable to any sort of masculinity in reality.
Following the same editorial policies that Amazon did with the Wheel of Time, men are either stupid or evil. The women are the one with the power. Being a strong woman means acting like a petulant, violent, hot-headed teenage boy. It'll look like a United Nations conference. You're going to have diversity in small remote villages for no other reason than they can. Yeah, Wheel of Time all over again, only more toxic. Mr. Tickle Trunk answers. He says, Esper form, angry mags. Espers are magical beings of insane power. I'd rather mags total this thing from the inside. I agree.
And that is her avatar too. That's what that is.
Yeah. Sorry, dude. I wasn't putting it together. Mr. Tickle Trunk, thank you.
I had no idea. I don't know, dude, either.
Yeah. Yeah. So Gladriel proclaims herself the leader of the armies. We're going to look at this. This one, I actually have the book. I have the book quotes. It's a couple sentences. Then we're going to wind down for tonight because we need to get out of here. It's very late for Purple Valkyrie. I like to keep my live streams at about 2 hours. This is a fantastic conversation. Just a heads up to everybody. This is a $5 Australian super chat from Al Dan. Hail to you, dude. The man who has Gandalf the parrot, or parakeet, I should say. This is just so you guys can congratulate Mags on figuring out the tagging. Ha ha. Well played, sir. Well played. Aldan, Australian for comedian. That's our man in Australia. I will get to this super chat. Let's do this first though. Who haven't I talked to on this one with that trailer? Purple, did you get a chance to talk about this yet?
Yeah, we talked about it. We were talking about how the different cast members were being polite.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say that I'm thinking about this poison pill thing that you were discussing, and I think Mags had brought up too, and our chatter all over. And I've never ever thought of this before, but this is also a poison pill for anything they would do after. Not that you should really push it any further, but if say you wanted to do a sequel of some kind, which is a thing to do. No, you really can't either. You can't.
No. I mean, this is why prequels are horrible. And did George Lucas's very imperfect trilogy of prequels ruin Star Wars? No, it didn't for me. The first three movies, the only three movies that exist. What it did do was mess with our heads. I don't need a sympathetic backstory for Darth Vader. Darth Vader was the most terrifying being I'd seen on cinema. Now, maybe that was me being 7 years old when the movies came out. Seeing Anakin Skywalker, who was not acted very well, was not written very well, and was very CG forward, it kind of depowered Vader to me in some ways. We don't need these sympathetic backstories. It's George Lucas's it was George Lucas's world. He could do whatever we want for it. I was really excited to watch the prequels. I actually read the prequel book, The Phantom Menace, before I saw the movie. That's how excited I was. And I was like, but in this case, it's not a case of incompetence, I'd say, like with George Lucas. It's a case of negligence. They have a deliberate outcome that they're trying to foster by doing what they're doing with this show. And I will get to this super chat. Thank you very much. This is from Ian Soforth for 10 British pounds. Says, did you see the interview where the actors kept mentioning that they were activists? Why would you bring that up? That's like randomly discussing your weird fetish at a dinner party. Well, that's why. And I want to get into some of these concepts, Ian, so forth. I want to talk about this in a different live stream because we have to start letting some people go. You brought up probably one of the best questions we've had tonight. Why is it being done? I mentioned it in the video that I made today. And I talked about what happened with Reva in Star Wars, where they hired somebody, of course, for her ethnicity and her gender. And then they proceeded to change the character and what the character did in Kenobi, in this Disney show. That's what they're doing, and I do believe this. Someone has to prove me wrong. I think all of these actors were hired to bring their real life activism and their real life obnoxious leftist ideology into the characters that Payne and McKay created, stealing Tolkien's notes for the Second Age. That's why we have that, whatever the hell her name is, the one who claims to be in support of Iranian women's rights, yet grew up with a very posh English accent, telling us all about how this is such a brave step forward for women. You want to be brave? Go ahead and try and talk like that in Iran right now. Going to preach to the rest of us here in the Western world? Yeah, you got it real hard, sister. And then, of course, we have Sophie Nivetti talking about how she was the very first dwarf ever.
Yep, that's right. I'm the first white YouTuber, guys.
Yeah, yeah. I'm the first guy over
That's good to know.
6'5". I'm the first guy over 6'5" to eat two 2-foot-long Subway sandwiches in one sitting.
You know what?
Me.
It doesn't matter. You can't prove me wrong if I just lie, right?
I'm the first white man in Japan. Did you know that? It's true.
It's true. It's true.
Amazing.
Gray is the last samurai.
It's true.
It's
true.
I murdered Tom Cruise and stole his sword.
Oh, Magitech Mags, I like the way you roll for $2. Says this super chat is sponsored by wine. I'm a bit fired up, LOL. I like when you're fired up. It's great to talk about these things. Magitech Mags, set up a live stream on your channel. I know you get everybody here to come on your show. We'd love to come on your show.
Oh yeah,
be a lot of fun. You got to do your first one sometime. Hail to you, Magitech Mags. Let me get to this super chat for Mr. Tickle Trunk for 5 loonies. Says Corey's always spot on for this. The message is everything. Subversion is the only goal, but there's no conspiracy needed. This is what all cults do. I got to see if I got an applause button or something over here, guys, because that was absolutely badass. Now I'm going to give you this one. This is what I have for applause.
You shall not pass!
Thank you very much for that, Mr.
Nice. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I also wanted to say that's relevant for Ezra Miller, but yeah, never mind. We don't want to do that. I'm definitely going to get my channel shut down. I have to jump around over here. Thank you for that. Mr. Tickle Trunk, we need to talk about that more, but you are right. This is the goal. There is no conspiracy that's needed. This is what all cults do.
Mr. Tickle Trunk is always directly on target.
Yeah.
And great to have him here.
Yeah, we have got to get out of here. I'm going to read these couple super chats, and then I'm going to pick this up probably tomorrow in a live stream or the day after. This is from Daniel for $10. Says, the people heading these companies truly believe the articles written in the past 5 years, which state that fantasy / comic book / science sci-fi fandoms are, quote, small minority, unquote, of cavemen which are dying out. It's true. But this goes back to these flawed studies of how, younger men are only playing video games. They're not interested in any other entertainment. Is there a large majority of boys that like to play video games? Yes. Here's the thing. I was a boy in the 1970s, 80s. Guess what I like to do? I like to play video games too, a lot more than girls did back then. You know what else I like to do? Watch television shows, go to the movies, read books, buy comic books. Has it changed a lot? Is it an overwhelming majority of boys who never get up from their PS5 or their Xbox or whatever it is? I'm sure that percentage has increased. But I also think that if there's a really good movie, people are going to go see it. Sorry, go ahead, dude.
No, I was going to jump on and just say, why when they get up from the PS5, I can tell you when the caveman says, we're going to go watch this. I want to show you this. Let's go see this movie. This is opening now. You're going to love Lord of the Rings. Let's go check it out. So that's who gets them off the games. So if there are kids who weren't going to get off the games and only play games, and you're going after that market, you're missing the fact that the only people, or the most likely people to get them away from the games and into a theater, are the people you're working so hard to push away and alienate. And the more you do that, you will lose that next market, because it's the same in sports. It's the same in films. Usually you inherit what you enjoy in terms of entertainment, because that's what you were shown. And they're really messing this up with this. And they're not getting kids on their own. It's not going to happen. What about you, Nathan? What do you think about that?
Sorry about that. No, I just lost track of the whole conversation. I got caught in something else, so my bad.
Does your daughter ever pull you away to go watch a movie or TV and say, Dad, I want to show you this? Or is it the flip? Do you introduce things to her?
It's it's a little bit of both. Lately, it's been a lot of the girls wanting to show me the stuff that they're watching. Like, my youngest wanted me to watch Naruto because she's just dying to try and get me into anime and
anime.
into the manga.
Yes.
And then at the same time, after all the recommendations you guys have had for Stranger Things, I looked at my oldest, who's been loving that show, and I said, "Hey, you want to do a rewatch and sit with me on it?" And she just absolutely got head over heels with that. So
Awesome.
Oh, that's
it,
awesome,
it goes
Nathan.
both
That's
ways,
cool.
and so right now we just finished season 2, so we're going to be heading into 3 and 4 here before too long. But school
The
just
anime
started,
thing is
so it's going to
true.
slow down.
Yeah.
The anime thing is for sure, but they don't come to you and say, "Hey, Dad, let's watch. Hey, I want to watch A New Hope." Probably.
Yeah.
No. Well, and I've spoken on that before. It's like anything regarding Marvel, Star Wars, all the stuff that we traditionally would like have thought of growing up and saying, "Hey, let's sign up to go and check this stuff out." Not a peep. After Endgame, the Marvel stuff was out the door outside of
Yeah.
Spider-Man's last movie. That is the one exception out of everything. And it shows really what a sad state that they are in, trying to entice these kids to try and see their movies, because it doesn't work. They aren't interested.
I'm not sure they're trying to entice them so much as indoctrinate them. Because these movies, they say, are being made for the younger generation so that it can sell them a value system and a whole
Yeah.
lot of ideology and gender stuff that wouldn't work in anybody over a certain age. Let me get to this super chat real quick. Let me get to this. Magitech Mags for $5 says, Mr. Tickle Trunk is correct. Espers are from the Pixel game. Final Fantasy VI, great game and story. My avatar is based on the Esper form of one of the main characters. I had no idea about this.
Okay,
I had
nice
no
one.
idea.
I didn't know that either.
I've never played Final Fantasy V. Sorry, go ahead, Nathan. I just wanted to get to that real quick while it was topical.
No, that's fine. But to your point too, it's, you don't even have to get the kids out to see the movie to sit there and push this propaganda stuff. All you got to do is give them a soundbite here, a soundbite there, without context, and younger minds are easily molded. And so when you sit there and push that kind of stuff, just needle it into their heads over and over and over again, it's real easy to do that. It doesn't matter if they go and see the movie at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, social contagions. Girls thinking they're boys in the last 10 years has increased 3,000%. Boys thinking they were girls was 99.999% of that 0.000000001% of this agenda. Those are facts. That's reality. That's data. You tell me what that is and where that's coming from. This is a $5 super chat from Magitech Mag. Says, also check out group chat. Lord of the Rings online group game night win. Fans and friends having fun pre-Amazon. Magitech Mags, when we get done here, you'll have to hit me on Twitter because my brain is a little broken, and we've been going over 2 hours now, and I have got to get Purple Valkyrie to bed, but not the way that you guys are going to make sure.
Either way, hey, it's a win.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I would love to do that. We need more nights in the week. I need longer weekends, guys. That's what I need. I need 2 more weekend nights. And one of those nights I have to sleep and not be on a computer. This is a $2 super chat again from Magitech Mags, who says, also, last super chat because I'm crazy. I'm done laughing. Love you all. Magitech Mags, I want some of the wine you're drinking. I'll party with you. I'll be your wingman anytime. And we definitely need to pay some tabletop. We definitely need to get a crew together. Yeah, there's some other stuff I wanted to cover, guys, but we are coming up on 2.5 hours, and we have got to close this thing down for our friends overseas to be able to get some sleep tonight. I am so proud of this show tonight. I had so much fun. I have a lot more things that I want to cover, not just talking about the Rings of Shut the F Up, as I'm calling it now. I have a whole lot of dystopian movies I want to talk about, but I think that would be a fun afternoon chill stream. I really absolutely would love to look at that stuff.
Nice try, Salty.
Okay. All right, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Yeah, old data from what, 5 years ago? Okay, Mr. Tickle Trunk says the 3,000% is an old statistic. Right now, 42% of college kids in the United States identify as LBGTQ plus. Parentheses, I bet mostly is non-binary. You're probably right, Mr. Tickle Trunk. I was probably pulling that data from 5 or 6 years ago. I can't talk about this much more, but you guys know where I'm going. I encourage you to look at your own research. There's a woman that I followed on Twitter that I found through. Let's just watch my Twitter feed if you're on Twitter. She's someone who has survived this and went through the transition at 13 and is now 19 and just did a bunch of testifying before the federal government and is being censored on Twitter. We'll just say that. You guys are awesome. This is a great show tonight. Let's go around the horn very quickly, starting with Gray from Wakazashi's Tea House. Tell me about your channel. What do you got going on next? Let's move quickly too. Thanks.
Okay, be a quick one. Great to be here. Thanks so much, everyone. It's great making Zaxx laugh. I love seeing Zaxx laugh. I just dropped a video yesterday of a review of One Piece film Red, the new movie that just came out at the cinemas. Bit disappointing, but it's been doing very well at the Japanese box office, which shows that, cinema, theatres is still a valid business. It's still, if you got a good movie, you got a movie to put out, you can make money. Apart from that, I'm working on a video of Death, the real Death from the Sandman comics, the fantastic story, The Sound of Her Wings. So thanks again, Salty.
Oh my God, thank you. Yeah, as much as I don't ever want to see anything Sandman again, if we have to watch season 2, of course I want to watch it with you. Let me jump over to Nathan, a Man of Manatheren. What do you got going on, brother?
Not a whole lot at the moment, but I will probably do a little bit of a reaction video to this little trailer we just saw, maybe a spoofed kind of thing. Other than that, just kind of hanging out, doing some chill streams here and there with you guys, and just having, in general, fun with chat. So
awesome. Thank you for being here, dude. This is awesome.
No,
you had some great
thanks
takes
for having
tonight.
me.
I'm going to move on to the one, the only, the Canadian with the mostest. It is Zaxx. How you doing, Zaxx?
Good. I just have so much to say about this. This might take about 45, 50 minutes, guys. So I'm joking, Salty. It's okay.
It's all right. I can leave. We can all leave and you can keep talking. That's fine.
I can talk to myself. Live show Thursday. Gonna do Tournament of the Arnolds. So Arnold Schwarzenegger versus some other Arnolds in his different forms. So that's the T800. That's Dutch. So yeah, and the chat's gonna have to be voting on who wins. So each round is decided by you guys. So please come out and vote in the chat. It means a lot for us to see you there. And
they were on fire last Thursday, dude. They're the ones who came up with that whole Arnold versus Arnold
I stole their idea.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. Purple Valkyrie, if you're still with us, if you're still holding on to being awake, please tell people where they can find you. What do you got going on?
Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow afternoon talking about a remaster of a game that came from a very surprising source, and probably taking a look at the Addams Family cast that's just been dropped. Some of the pictures have been shown. But thank you to the panel, and thank you to the chat for tonight.
This was an outstanding show, you guys. I never know how Tuesdays are going to turn out. They take twists and turns, but to me, I've never been prouder of anything creatively that I've done in my life. Working with this panel, I know Max is in here, but I love working with you guys. And if I had my way, all 6 of us would be able to just do this and quit the idiotic things we have to do 40 hours a week to stay married and keep a roof over our head. But those of you who are still in chat, I was requested to update the channel members role that I have that list out all of the 60 plus channel members that I now have. And I was remiss in that because I was busy making videos and busy doing Fire of Fandom videos. Tonight is the premiere of something I'll probably drop tomorrow as a premiere, but it is a made with love. And this addresses all of my channel members in all the different ways. It's a little bit longer of a role, but it has music. It has deepfakes throughout it. I hope you enjoy. So those of you who have stayed with us throughout all of this tonight, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your super chats. Thank you for viewing all of our channels. We'll see you all real soon. Please be sure to check out Purple Valkyrie's live stream tomorrow. Otherwise, take care. God bless. And for those of you who are in the show, this is about a 2.5, 3-minute roll, and then we'll be in the back room. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, guys.